Welcome to Lost Adventures. Here, we invite new players to play Dungeons & Dragons in my creative one-shots that had no room in my campaign. With me are Matt with Zazragold, the Dragonborn. We have Kayla with Rhea, her tiefling. And Brianna, named Italia. What's your race?
High Elf.
High Elf. High Elf. Alrighty. So, right now we are playing a session called Moon over Graymoor. Let us begin. A light mist drifts from the gloomy sky above you. The drizzle quickly freezes into ice in the streets. In the middle of the small town square, Graymoor's blacksmith, George Gilly, lies face down in the snow, still and ashen. You see that there are a few townsfolk near you, like a half-orc, a half-elf, non-binary, I would not say non-binary, but an elven, androgynous. It's hard to really tell if they are male or female. Halfling, a dwarf. There's just a few townsfolk around. Next to you is also the coroner, the guy who has enlisted your help in finding out what happened, I would say recent death of Sir Thames, a man who was the first case that has died here in the small hamlet. So, with that, we have any questions? Questions about the setting? Questions about what's happening?
Why the blacksmith? That's a terrible thing to waste.
Is this in character or out?
Yeah, sure.
Frankly, I don't care. We need to be on our way to Sir Thames, but since we are here, I guess you can look to him, find out what happened to him. But please be quick.
What was the blacksmith's name?
George Gilly. George Gilly. Last name Gilly.
And the coroner's name was
Oswald. Oswald the coroner. Which your main mission, or I guess main help, was to find Sir Thames as the knight of this hamlet. You could probably define him more of a sheriff, really.
So he's missing, not dead?
Sir Thames was the first person to die. He's been buried in his garden at his home, from what you've gathered from Oswald. He is going there to more or less make sure his affairs are in order and, you know, what coroners do best. Taxation of the death.
But there was a dead body.
And
yes.
We're looking for a guy who they already know is dead.
He is enlisting of help for that guy, yes, to make sure that he is actually dead and his things are in proper order.
Like still attached.
You know, that stuff. But coming into the hamlet, you find another body.
Gotcha.
So, is this a coincidence, or...?
Well, that's what I'm going to ask in character.
Okay.
What's the similarities?
Whom are you asking this to?
Oswald.
Presumably the only guy who's inspected the body so far.
He hasn't necessarily inspected this body, but he is here
He's
looking at it.
terrible at his job then.
Yeah, you can see that he is more pushing to go to Sir Thames than anything else. And that's Sir S-E-R, Thames, with an M in there, not N. I know, it got me for a while.
Flames, like
Thames.
flames?
Yes, just like that.
A T-H, gotcha.
Well, appears to be a laceration on his body. It's another attack of sorts, maybe a bar fight or an unfortunate incident.
No animal considerations?
It's possible. I have other means, but if you want to investigate and inspect this corpse, feel free.
Can I use perception on the body?
Well, you do see the body, so in this case you'd use investigation.
Can I tell if Oswald's like lying or holding anything back?
Roll insight.
20.
20. You can tell that Oswald is just straight to the point, but he has no interest in this dead person, but more to Sir Thames.
Why is he so interested in Sir Thames? Why are you so interested in Sir Thames?
Well, he was a knight of this hamlet, and I want to make sure that everything in his affairs are in proper order. He was well known, and well articulate in his profession. Just want to make sure everything is in order. I don't
More
care.
to the point, good sir. Why are you more worried about a previously dead than the newly dead?
I have hired you. If we have all this time to talk, then we need to be on our way to Sir Thames and let this be dealt with I don't know who takes care of the bodies here. Some chapel. So, if you are here done wasting my time, let us be on our way.
I want to investigate the body.
Alright. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
20.
20. Is it a nat 20?
Yeah.
Alright. Not the kind of morning you expected. Coming to Graymoor, the coroner enlisting your help for Sir Thames and finding George Gilly dead, killed by a long laceration from his left shoulder blade to his right hip. It likely severed his spine. You notice a trail of blood frozen between layers of snow leading behind the Graymoor Bend. The Graymoor Bend is the inn that you are currently standing in front of. Near the start of the bloody trail, you find a deep gouge scored into the earth, as though someone has been digging for treasure with a mattock. A mattock is kind of like a pick. One side it has that pick side, and on the other side it has that like hoe. So you know that. So
Where's the gouge?
behind the house, as you follow the trail of blood behind there, you can tell someone's been digging for treasure with a mattock.
Can I investigate the gouge?
Looks like you're gonna need a shovel or something if you want to continue your investigation.
Okay.
This female half-elf come up to you and hands you a shovel. Yeah, go ahead and use this. I just had one with me while I was making my way back here. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You start clearing snow away. A cold dread prickles up your back when you find a footprint, and another, and another, all in a trail toward the body, yet they were deep and far apart, as to suggest whatever chased the poor blacksmith down was running at a speed you can only describe as inhuman.
How big are the footprints?
It's hard to gauge, but you can see that they're a relatively big size, and it must have been a few days that have passed, so you can't actually make out the size of the footprints. The snow has done enough damage to potentially cover that up, and the freezing ice, constant thawing and refreezing.
Are said footprints in boots?
Knowledge nature.
Also, do I recognize footprints?
Knowledge nature.
It's gonna be a good night for me. 19.
19?
13.
Whatever.
It's hard to tell. The amount of, let's say, the weathering and the earth itself has played a vital role in this, so it's hard to tell exactly what kind of footprints they are. You just know that they're deep and heavy and they're spaced out, but time has affected it. So the rains, the snow has altered it, but they look to be relatively big. Maybe it's hard, maybe like a foot big, maybe 9 inches. It's, again, each one's a different spot. You can see some of the townsfolk around as they're like looking at the dead bodies. They're just like talking and whispering to themselves, pointing things out. And, just hearsay. Oswald looking a bit impatient, wanting to be on his way.
Okay, Oswald. Take us to Sir Thames' grave.
Good. Let us be on our way. You guys go to Sir Thames. It is a long trip. You're looking at a 3 to 4 hour walk there.
Oh, Jesus.
No, it is a long trek. You see that the house is old and has a well-kept exterior. Obviously, he had a penchant of gardening. He was buried in the backyard amongst his prized lilies. You go up to the door and you can see that it is locked.
Is there a groundskeeper?
There is not. Looks like no one has been here in quite some time.
Why doesn't Oswald have? Do you have a key?
I do not have the key.
Why?
It's not my home. I don't know what he has done with it. Only the man who died in his backyard. I say we only have a couple of ways to enter his home. If you would do the honors.
Oh, so I can kick the door in then?
You may.
Oh, that's not cool.
You plant a good boot into it. You like as hard as you can.
Broke my
You
foot.
you hear it just that good spraying in your foot as you put your boot planter right on the door and you push down. You suffer 1 point of damage from it. Kind of, you start shaking your foot. Get the feeling back in.
Right.
Maybe I should have hired stronger help.
I'll try.
All right.
Don't roll a 1.
18.
Rhea pushes you aside and just solid boot to door. Breaks open.
It's all good. I was testing you.
Well, I see who has the real strength here. Dusty.
High fives you.
Dusty, disarray. It's like it hasn't been like turned upside down. Nobody has been in here. You start looking around, start investigating and this stuff. Oswald starts moving up to where he starts inspecting, starts looking at things. You find that there's a drafting table with a letter half written on it. And another was written next to it. Looks to be an unfinished one on a fresh stacked parchment. It has left some nearly legible indents onto it.
Nearly legible? Can I read it?
You look at the nearly illegible and it's hard to make out, but you can see that there was some deep indents into it that maybe with the right amount of craft you could maybe try to get it to pop out. But you find a letter that is unfinished. If you need help reading it, let me know.
What a serial killer handwriting.
Serial killer cursive.
Connected letters.
Should I read it out loud?
If you want to, I know it's going to be a little bit difficult. Or if you need me, I can translate it from here.
I can't read the name. Dear
Ulrich.
Ulrich, my old mentor, I pray this letter reaches you in time. After years of the seclusion I wanted from this town, something is afoot, and I fear it's the shadow of that old
Curse.
It looks like ours, I'm not gonna lie. Shadow of that old curse you once told me about. I can't prove anything yet, but I've started taking measures and hopefully I'll have what I need in 2 nights. Something to defend myself with. Don't fear, I wouldn't be so stupid as to ask for it to be sent directly to me. My old contact in the Swords of the Lady will hide it near my house. That said, I need you to tell me if you remember. Kind of stops there.
It looks to be an unfinished letter.
Swords of the Lady, is that the blacksmith?
Well, blacksmith was a dude, right?
Well, but like the name of the shop.
Go ahead and roll a knowledge religion.
20.
Not 20. You know that it is a religious temple, and it's far away. Maybe on the other side of the kingdom, if not more, in the main cities. That the Swords of the Lady, just temple guard, that he must have been part of this Sir Thames. He was a knight after all, so maybe that's where this the information been contacted to.
Oh, I tell them.
Is there
The
anything
temple.
else that stands out about the room that we're in?
Nothing in the room really stands out. Looks like he was good at making letters. He enjoyed gardening on his time of seclusion, and he kept everything neat and nicely ordered. But there's really nothing of valuable or that stands out to you.
What's Oswald doing?
Oswald seems to be grabbing a few things as small like little trinkets and puts them in this little embroidered pouch that he has marked with a signet of such.
What are you doing?
When it comes to being a coroner, you must tax even if they are dead, so I'm just collecting for my job. Again, I didn't pay you to ask questions. We done here? I'm ready to head back.
So are we not going to check the gravesite then, Sir Oswald?
The gravesite. Where he lies? If you want, his backyard's right back there.
Do I still have the shovel?
I mean, if you want to hold on to it, sure.
Yeah, I held on to that.
Alright. Yeah, you guys go to the backyard and find the spot. Looks like he was like a small mound with his prize lilies. Oswald's looking at you. I feel like this is illegal on a few forms, but it's not my hands getting filthy.
Does the site look disturbed at all?
No, it looks like maybe must have been buried here over probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
I'm gonna ask Oswald about the curse if he knows anything.
I have no idea what that is entitled to. None. I feel if you have more questions, I recommend talking to the townsfolk. I find them at the inn we were just at.
Shovel?
I see no need to dig this man up.
I'm gonna toss you the shovel.
I'll
Can we
carry
do
it.
that?
We do what?
Dig him up.
Dig him up.
Make sure he's in there.
If you insist.
Wait, I thought you said you dig him up.
No, I see no need to dig him up. But if you want me to dig him up.
I thought you wanted to dig him up.
I did too.
You want to see if there's still rigor mortis going on? You have a good time?
Decomposition has already started. It's gonna be really smelly.
Assuming he's in there. Just saying. And Oswald's sketchy.
He is.
Oswald just patiently waiting. He's just head back. Looks like he got what he came for. And you've inside him, looks like he's just straight to the point. Just seems to really care about Sir Thames. You have this hunch that you feel that he might be using Sir Thames, his position, maybe to tax his death a little bit more than you would expect. So compared to everyone else, he probably has some of that money.
Well, I mean, he did just rob a dead guy.
Not the dead guy, but
It was the dead guy's house. He robbed the dead guy.
yeah, technically.
Yeah, well, let's follow him back to town and talk to the townsfolk.
You're heading back to the inn, Graymoor. 1 second.
Yep.
The Graymoor Bend. All right. You head back to the Graymoor Bend. Looks like the body has been removed, and the townsfolk, or these hamlet people, have gone back to their normal ways. You go inside and you see that the bar is being run, or sorry, the inn is being run by a half-orc. And you take note of the one who handed you the shovel is sitting down, looks to be drinking, as well as an androgynous-looking elf. Kind of a bit of ways, but also drinking. Not heavily, but just a little.
I'm gonna go get a beer. And I'm gonna talk to the bartender. Hey, bartender.
You go up to the proprietor of the Graymoor Bend. Looks to be a half-orc, female, kind of like raggedy red hair, standing somewhere 6.5 feet tall. Generally a cheery disposition. Yeah. You see that she's got like a big bosom, trying to fit into the stereotype of being in the hamlet, kind of odd for a half-orc in a town, but yeah. It's like, what can I get you?
I want a drink.
Alright, well, what can I get you to drink?
Surprise me.
Surprise you. Oh, you've got the basic stuff. Pulls out a meal. Make 2 copper.
Wait a minute. I want to ask her about if she knew George Gilly.
I knew George Gilly. I really did. He was a good blacksmith. He had a daughter. Oh, I don't think anyone has told her yet. That might be a little important. I would go by right now, but I'm watching the shop. She should be informed. She should be at George Gilly's home right now. But he was a good man. He was a good man. I don't know why anybody would come after him.
Was outside your tavern? Did you hear anything?
Not hear anything. I did know that he was talking to someone in here. I didn't get a good sight of their face. They were wearing dark and blackened clothes with a hood up, so I didn't get a chance to see.
Are they still here?
No, that was last night. That was over 12, 18 hours ago.
What about Sir Thames? Did you know him as well?
I did know Sir Things, yes. He died about 2 weeks ago, buried in his garden.
You know how he died?
I believe he got a laceration to his back. I could be mistaken. Actually, there have been a lot of deaths recently in this last month. My horse was killed a month ago. Most people think it died by wild dogs because of the bite marks on its neck. Sir Thames, it was 2 weeks ago. Quentin Airy, he was a cooper. He was killed on the road maybe about a week ago. Was just passing through town, but got into a fight here at my inn over the gods, if you would believe that. Airy claimed the gods didn't care for common folk, and that dwarf, what's his name? Grimmindarden. He was the one who gave him a black eye. For any more Cathos cattle, that killed the same way as my horse, and that was relatively recent, by a few days. And now George Gilly.
Has everyone that's died have the same kind of wounds? The lacerations?
I reckon so.
And all the animals have been bitten.
Yeah. Wild dogs.
Wild dogs?
Has anyone seen wild dogs now?
Oh, there are plenty out here. Sometimes we have to get rid of them. Have to hire some type of bounty hunter or someone who's willing to go out and put their life on the line to get rid of them. They can get real bad. Rabid even.
How long has it been since the last hunt?
I couldn't tell you that. Hunt for the cattle 3 days ago.
Do you know how big the dogs are?
I would guess they come in many different sizes. I guess maybe to my knee, a little less, sometimes bigger.
Thank you, Barky.
Glad I could help.
I'm
One
gonna
more
talk to
question.
the elf that handed her the show.
I have one more question. Do you know anything about a curse?
Doesn't ring any bells. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, also, what is George Gilly's daughter's name?
Aaron. Aaron Gilly. Haven't seen her in some time. Hope she's doing good. Oh, before you go, just to let you know, George Gilly's home is about 3 to 4 hour walk. And if you're wondering why Gilly was here, he tends to stay the night. Because the distance, he likes to sell his merch when he can.
Aaron, his only family?
Yes. His wife, I believe, died from the plague a few years ago. Called the Rona.
Oh no.
I'm down my ale. I'm gonna go to the elf.
Alright. You see that she's also in her younger side of middle age. You see that she's got one earring with a looks like a feather onto it. She's got like this like a parted jacket. Looks like it's like a pinkish pastel color that's been really worn down throughout the years, and a few odd end jewelry that goes around her neck. Like it's quite exotic. And you find her and she's drinking. Looks like she's kind of lost in her own thoughts. Oh, I never got your name earlier.
Italian.
My name is Henrietta Pascal. I'm a retired wizard. I don't do that anymore. I don't think I could cast a spell to save my life. What can I help you with?
How well did you know the victim?
Oh, George Gilly? I knew him for a little bit. I spent most of my time with a certain someone here, and she looks past you to look at the half-orc. So George keeps to himself, worked hard, does commission work.
And what of Sir Thames?
Sir Thames is a really good guy. He was the sheriff here in the hamlet and did what he thought was right. It's a shame that we lost such a good man. This one's to him.
And Neri, did you know him as well?
Neri, not so much. He was more of a wanderer from place to place that we would see from time to time. Last time I heard about him was when he got into a little bit of a squabble with the dwarf, Grimmond.
Has anyone seen this Grimmond lately?
He's at the chapel of Saloon. He's part of the choir. Great singing voice. I expect him to do big things.
Okay.
Do you know about a curse?
No, not at all. I mean, there are many curses that I've come to see throughout my years, but no curses here in this hamlet.
Were you here when Gilly died?
I wasn't here per se. I was in the area. When I heard about it, when I woke up, I heard about it almost immediately and came here as fast as I could to make sure that Saga was alright.
What do you think happened?
Well, judging by looking at him, I assumed maybe he was attacked out in the back. A laceration that big. Could be from a long sword or some type of slashing blade right across his back. And got away with it. Now, the only thing we know is that there's a possible killer on the loose. It could be any one of us.
You said there was another person in the bar. Who was that?
An androgynous-looking elf. Looks like he's drinking. He really wearing some pretty basic clothing. Nothing would stand out from him. You wouldn't guess.
Who were we just talking to?
You were talking to Henrietta Pascal. Another type of elf.
Oh, okay.
Say we question the odd fellow.
You question the other one? And everyone gets on. Shuts down, you know. So Henrietta's like, I'll be here all around if you need me. Be safe. You go over to this elf. Look like he also does thoughts drinking. Is there something wrong? You all came over here in such a hurry. Can I get you something?
We just have a few questions for you, good sir.
I hope I can give you answers.
What's your name?
My name is Eldariel Oxorus, at your service. If you are looking for tinctures or potions or vials of another type of apothecary, I guess I'd be your elf.
Did you know the 3 men that were killed here recently?
Here, I know of the one man that was killed here recently, and that was the one that was a few hours ago. George Gilly. Everyone knows everyone here. It's a small town.
I meant in and around the town.
In and around the town. Who are you referring to?
Sir Thangs and Neary.
You look like strangers, but you know a few of the townspeople. That's fair. What would you like to know?
Would you have any insights into anything that could have possibly happened to these three men?
I can give you guesses. I can give you assumptions. But you've probably heard from a couple of people already. What do you think my opinion is? You got mugged. We probably killed him. Could have been anybody's. Could be me. All I know, it could have been one of you.
Have you seen any unsavory characters around? Aside from us, that is.
Well, besides from us. No? No, I haven't.
Barkeep says he was talking to somebody wearing all black.
All black.
Did you see this too?
A lot of people wear all black. Some people like to cover their faces and don't want to be part of people's businesses. Nothing wrong with that. But no, I don't know anybody about that.
Can I tell if he's lying?
Go ahead and roll insight.
16.
You're like looking into him, and he is just on his guard, cautious because there's three people that he's never met, also asking questions. But it looks like he's straightforward with his answers. Just making sure he's in the clear, just drinking. From how he's talking and how he holds himself, you can tell that this man's probably has some cash on him. So he's not like you wouldn't assume to be putting him into the lower class, but more of a middle high class.
Well, thank you for your time, good sir.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry to have troubled you.
It's fine. Be safe out there. Watch your six.
Can we go to the chapel to speak to the dwarf? How far is that?
The chapel is a pretty good distance, probably a little bit longer than you'd probably want. But yeah, you can go to the chapel.
And Gilly's house, is that towards the same direction?
It's going to be quite far. You'd only probably have time for the rest of the day for one of those visits. So it's your choice on if you want to go to the chapel or if you want to go to George Gilly's actual home. Whatever benefits you guys the most.
I feel like we should probably tell his daughter that her dad is dead. She might know something.
Let's do that then.
I'm neutral.
Okay.
You're no help.
I'm sorry. She's straight neutral. She would not care either way.
Oswald stays at the bar, kind of filing out some reports and such. You guys make your way to George Gilly's house, following some directions, asking around, getting pointed in the right direction. You make your way. 3 to 4 hours later, you arrive there. The doors and windows hang open, and the curtains shiver in the frigid wind. Snow has begun to creep onto the sills, and over the threshold, into the dark, an empty room, or home.
She's not there?
It seems like
Hello? Calling out into the house. Yeah.
you approach with caution as you closer to the house as you call in. As you enter, you find the floorboards in the kitchen have been pried up, and on the table next to them sits a small, artless lockbox.
Open or closed?
Closed.
Locked?
Locked. As you explore the rest of the house, it doesn't look like anybody has been here.
For a while?
Investigation check.
Alright.
It's hard to say. It's maybe sometime within 24 hours, or maybe within 12 hours. It's really hard to gauge. The snow has caused little issues for the inside of the house.
Aside from the ripped up floorboards, is there any sign of struggle?
No bodies. No nothing. Just an empty, abandoned home. But somebody knew there was something under the floorboards in the kitchen. It looks like they were struggling with the lock of the small lockbox. Couldn't get it open.
Does it look like the box came from under the floorboards?
That's what it looks like.
Is there anything else in there?
What is everyone's passive perceptions? And then, after I ask that, go ahead and, if you want to, roll an investigation check. Just 11, okay. Also, if you feel like you don't have that investigation, or when it comes to certain checks that you're trying to do and you're like, man, I'm probably not really good at it, there is an action in the player's handbook. There's an action in the player's handbook called help action, or help another, which it gives that person advantage. I'm sorry, what?
Am I adding this?
I don't.
It should be, okay, perception check, bam, okay, +1.
So
13. Yeah, it's right there at your bottom.
But I'm saying, would that be 14 or?
It's already added for you.
Is it just
okay.
my perception?
It'll be your perception modifier plus your math. So 10 plus perception.
14.
So it'll be 14. Okay, so you have a 14, you have a 13, you have an 11. Okay. So, and then whoever's doing the investigation, go ahead and roll your investigation if you're looking around for certain clues or stuff. That's one. Okay. You note small boot prints leading away from the back of the house in the snow. You also take note that the item being hunted is a key, and it's sitting on top of the rafters, just barely peeking out over the edge.
I'm gonna grab the key.
Athletics check.
2, 4 altogether.
4 altogether. You try to reach for it and grab at it to no avail.
I'm too short.
Can I try?
Go ahead, athletics check. The redemption.
15.
15. You come up with a little bit more of an effort as you jump up and get the side, just enough just to grab the key. Small, simple thing. It's like it's got some dust on it. Hasn't moved in a while.
Can we try it in the lock of the box?
It fits, and it turns, and it unlocks.
The box or the chastity belt?
All of it.
What's in the box?
As looking around with your investigation, you also find that George's bookkeeping looks like the last few months have been slow for the smith, until he was commissioned to make a large, complicated system of latches and bars. Unfortunately, there's no extensive notes on it. In the box, you find, inside, wrapped in a linen, is a silver arrowhead and a letter.
Okay.
Another letter.
So linen has wrapped around this, and you reveal it as a small letter and a silver arrowhead.
Silver?
A silver arrowhead.
Dear Aaron, how that you
Now?
Now that you've grown enough to leave on your own, I want you to have this. I found it in the woods one day, and I think it's some sort of a arrowhead. There's an old tradition of plating lost arrowheads in silver to use as amulets. They say an elf arrow
Correct.
can ward off witchcraft. So I thought I'd make it into one for you to take on your travels wherever they lead you. I'm not much of a jeweler, but I'll hope the charm proves that these old hands of mine can do more than rough work. Hopefully it'll always remind you of me. You are the best thing that ever happened to me.
The best thing that ever happened to me, Aaron.
Aaron.
So what did you say about the latches and bars?
Looks to be some odd, complicated system. There's really not, like I said, there's not much extensive detail or note taking thereafter.
Were they just like plans or something?
Looks like there were plans marked up and suggestions with a lot of blueprints and a lot of drafts that someone just didn't make or didn't work out. But other than that, there's really no further information or research on it.
The boot prints. How big are they?
The boot prints looks like they go out back. Survival check if you want to follow it.
15.
15. You follow the tracks for an hour into the woods. The tracks quickly become muddled, mixed up with what appears to be the tracks of a giant dog.
You said mixed up?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does it look like they're side by side, or?
Looks like it's mixed, intermingled with it. It looks like there's a mixture of side by side to on top to multiple accounts of it. Like in the surrounding area. Like double backing, moving. It's not like it was being chased or followed, just kind of erratic movement of what's out there. At this time you can see that the sun is dipping into the late afternoon.
And there's no sign of Aaron.
So surely whoever was looking for this chest could not have been his daughter. Judging by the language in the letter, his daughter would have known where said key was at.
Most likely. And it does look like a wolf? Or anything?
Giant dog. Knowledge nature check. To further identify. Looking at the tracks themselves, what'd you get all together?
Nature or knowledge?
Nature. Knowledge and nature.
5.
5. It does look like a collection of dog prints.
As in, not the same dog prints?
Singular?
As in, it's hard to gauge. Like, there is either 1 or 2 sets of them, maybe even 3. You're far enough, about an hour into the woods, that the mixtures of the snow, the constant thawing and refreezing, and mixing in with the mud has caused different footprints to be interacted.
But they're big. You said they're big.
What it looked to be big at the first go, but as you further look into it with their nature, it just looks to be just normal sized dog prints.
But they kind of appeared out of nowhere? Because you said it started as?
Muddled. Like a crossroads, or, the further you try to follow something, you're bound to find more tracks that intertwine and mix up in the crossroads of nature.
But there were boot prints and paw prints, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Did the boot prints stop about where we found the paw prints?
Hard to gauge. They just kind of eventually just disappear or get mingled in with the rest of nature. That you can't really further track it.
I want to know where Aaron went. Why is she gone? Why is the door open? Sketchy. What do you guys want to do?
You said it was getting dark?
It's in the late afternoon. There's really not much time for anything else, but I could be mistaken. Whatever you guys want to do. Things do close, people do go to sleep.
Can we go back?
Everything will be closed by the time we get back.
Except the Graymoor Bend. That's always going to be open 24 hours. More or
You could
less.
stay at the inn, go to the church in the morning. Or what? Was it a church?
Yeah.
Ask if anybody's seen Aaron.
Let's do that.
Okay. You guys make your way back to the Graymoor Bend. You go to the end. You get a couple of drinks pounded in, get a small light dinner, and head to bed, unless you want to cuss and discuss.
Is there anyone else in the...
At this time, no. Just a half orc. You assume that Oswald's probably in his room, too.
I want to ask the half orc if she's seen Aaron.
Oh. I haven't seen her in a while. Maybe a few days.
Is it normal for people in your town to leave their doors wide open in the midst of winter?
Not at all. I assume you did go to George Gilly's house.
We
What
did.
happened? What was it? She wasn't there?
She's not there. Doors are open, letting the outside in.
So she's gone missing. You think whatever got George is after her? Gotten her?
I don't even know what's going on with that. Too early to tell.
Is there anywhere she might go if she were in trouble?
We weren't really close, so I couldn't tell you. I didn't even know where she would be gone.
Her relationship to her father, was it well?
Yeah, everyone here's relationship was pretty well. She didn't have any real problems.
You know anything about George's latest commission?
I don't know.
He didn't mention it? No?
Keeps to himself. You okay? You just have this like. She's just been smiling like a turtle.
Like a turtle.
Turtle smile?
Yeah, I want to turn this into a werewolf thing. I keep
Really?
thinking, werewolf!
Yes, this is your investigation.
Do we still have the silver arrowhead, right?
Yes.
Can we show it to the half-orc? Recognize this?
I've never seen it before.
Was George the kind of man who would go to great lengths to hide something like this?
Oh no, George would not be like that at all. Not the George that I know.
How old is Aaron?
14? 16? 7? She's young. She is young.
Is she around the age to venture out on her own?
Oh yeah, I can see it.
I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys go to bed. Enjoy a nice sleep. Bundled up, warm. Fireplace. Enough to furnace throughout the whole entire inn. And then we move on to the next day. You all wake up. Find yourself trudging downstairs, waking up with the cold morning air. You see that breakfast is ready. And Saga has not just breakfast, but a sour look on her face.
What kind of breakfast?
You see it's basic breakfast. You got the eggs, bacon, some sausage, mutton on the side, with cold water, which is, I guess, fortunate in this time of cold. Just to let you all know, they, Eldariel found Exaltath dead at her shop.
What?
The apothecary?
Exaltath. That'd be Eldariel. He was the one who found it. Exaltath is, you must have saw her in the crowd. She was a drow, female. I'd say she was shy, timid. She was also a blacksmith. Kept to herself. She felt paranoid. Don't really talk to her much. Not
She was found dead?
this morning. Alderel found her.
So now you have 2 blacksmiths, a knight, and a traveling tradesman.
I'm thinking that they're all linked, but I don't
How were
know.
her wounds?
You'll have to go see for yourself. I've
Where
been
was
here.
she found?
Alderel's right outside. If you want to talk to him, you can take you there.
Where did they find her?
He told me at her shop at the blacksmith.
We go outside, but I take a handful of bacon with me.
Yeah. Egg.
Pocket bacon.
Pocket bacon.
I'll grab some toast.
You go outside and you find Alderel there, and you see that he's kind of pacing to himself, and he looks up. Oh, I assume you're still enlisted with the coroner, and I would like to show you the body of Exalth. It was not what I expected, but let us walk talk. So I was going to her home early in the morning because she needed help packing up some things, and I was going to help her with it. And as I arrived there, the door was locked. It was odd. I started knocking, banging, shouting, even, to no avail. I took it upon myself, called rude, and that door is open now with a nice forceful bash. And there she was, on the ground. The rest I'll let you look and decide what you think of the situation.
Who are we talking to?
Eldorel, the guy who was cautious looking at you guys talking.
Were you by yourself?
Yes. If you're assuming it's me, by suspicion of the coincidence, I was going to murder somebody, I wouldn't have just let everyone know. It's
That's
possible.
exactly what a murderer would say.
Exactly. But no.
It actually is.
But like I said, I was helping her pack things because she felt paranoid. She figured that she was going to be the next one to die, and...
Why would she think that?
The constant deaths that are happening in the town. Sir Thames, we have George Gilly, now her.
Did they work together? Or were they separate?
That I don't know. I would assume so, since they're both blacksmiths, but I could be wrong. I know you have questions, but I don't really have these answers. So, I don't think the coroner is going to do anything, which I'll let him know. I'd go ahead and peer inside, see what you can find out. Maybe that'll help in your investigation? I guess that's what we call it. More or less.
I want to look at this body.
Well, here it is. I'll be out here if you need me. Alright. Yeah, you find that the door had been broken into. Looking at it, yeah, so you broke it. You get to the other side, still locked. You get to the other side of the door and you take note that there is a key still in the lock on the inside, still there. Looking over her body, you see that she fell forward, and you see the lacerations on her back. But this time, you're not just seeing one, but you're seeing two, almost like a prong or like whatever it was, like a fork. Yeah.
Does anything look out of place in the room?
Investigation check. Eight. No, you do a peering around at the first floor, looking about. Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary.
And that was the furthest investigation of her body, or can I investigate?
Go ahead, investigate.
Like in her pocket.
You look about her and her things, and yeah, it looks like she was packing up packing light to leave temporarily. But other than that, going upstairs, nothing seems to be out of the ordinary.
There were no like back doors or windows that were open.
Investigation.
Where were the lacerations?
Located on her back.
Okay.
At 20. You see these two as they're going about the house as you go up to upstairs, and like you peer out her room and you look about and you can tell that the window's open. The entry looks like it came from the second-story window. As you peer outside, it's not impossible to reach, but it would require someone to be at least above average height to be able to ascend to this floor.
No, fuck, now I'm a suspect.
Going through Zelth's books and business, it reveals that she was hired by the local chapel of Saloon to help install a giant lock that George Gilly was hired to make. It is noted in case of an attack that the chapel would be the safest place to be, since the old stone building would be impenetrable from the outside. So it looks like that she was working with George Gilly on making this device, which now turned to be a lock.
The latches and bars were going to go on the chapel.
And it appears she was killed as she was locking up for the night.
They're making a lock for the chapel?
Can I step outside and ask,
What does chapel
elf
need a
guy.
lock for?
Aldariel?
oh yeah, Can I ask him if he knows anything about what they were commissioned to build for the church?
Not at all. I don't know anything
I thought
of
they
her works. Just helping out.
Is there anyone else around town who might know about what they were doing at the chapel?
I would believe yes, and it's going to sound quite simple. The chapel.
Fair enough.
How big was the lock? Are we talking? Do we know?
It's
Do we
hard to
know?
really gauge in the notes and description since
Yeah.
you're not too savvy on the work, but yeah, it's got to be something that's going to hold a door in case of an attack, so it might be something quite big or relatively in size.
Does anything say what the latches and bars were going to be made out of? Anything in the notes?
Yes, in the notes it says that the latches and bars were the main material was going to be iron.
Iron?
Coated in anything or just iron?
Just iron. And the usual stuff, like there's some copper that gets mixed in with it to other weapons, but just the majority of it is iron. I like this. I've never done an investigation thing. I'm like, this is crazy. Spent all day working on this and I'm like tearing through it like, oh god.
I think we need to go check out the chapel.
Is the coroner on his way to check the body?
You could assume so. That'd be kind of metagaming knowledge. That'd be like saying, are the cops on their way? It's not, assuming.
Well, I ask because if he's on his way, I want to question him as well.
Understandable. All right.
Can I look at her body one more time?
Okay.
That is perverted. Why-
She's sexy.
All right, go ahead.
Was she wearing any jewelry? Okay.
I want to ask him if he knows anything about Erin. She's gone.
She was the daughter of George Gillen, but that was pretty much the extent of my knowledge. No, I hung
Haven't
out
seen
with
her.
her. I had much bigger things to do. I had money to make.
This guy's rude.
I kind of like him. All right, so to the chapel.
Like her sexually, but
I'm going to,
asshole.
I'm going to stay here and wait for the coroner.
Coroner?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, the coroner.
yeah. Everyone makes their way to the chapel.
Are we fucking Batman? No, like seriously, like, are we fucking
No,
Batman?
yeah.
Oh,
All right.
just have to be gay for a day.
As you approach the chapel of Sloan, you see the congregation deep in preparation for the Feast of the Moon, busying themselves refilling small bowls of milk out on the steps. A stray cat prowls from a distance, eyeing the milk a priestess tips out. Above you, a banner unfurls, hanging above the door, deep blue trimmed with silver. On it, an invitation to the whole town of Graymoor to attend the feast, 2 nights from now. As you guys get closer, you take note of this older-looking man. Looks to be in his 40s, 50s, weathered, silver hair with a scar on his jaw. See him kind of going down a set of few stairs with the left foot, you know, how kids do it or old people, as he makes his way down with as much haste as he can, and he comes up to greet you. Well, my name is Father Dargor. I'll do what I can to help. I hope the chapel and sanctuary as it should in dark times. What can I do for you? I know you are enlisting in services to the coroner. There's some
Yeah, it's
questions.
distracting me.
Oh, they're strays. They come and linger from time to time. How can I help?
But like, she's like, come here,
Were there,
kitty. Come here, kitty.
were the recent victims part of your congregation?
I'm holding the cat now.
You can see that he's mournful and expresses regret. They are not. And it's unfortunate that these circumstances have befallen these poor individuals. But we're not letting it stop the feast of the moon. But we are taking care of their bodies the best that we can in the short amount of time that we have.
Were you aware that a second blacksmith was killed just this morning?
No, this is news to me. But I assure you that I will get me and a few of my priests to take care of it and hope it gets put to rest. Who was it? Do you know?
What was her name?
You hired her
Hired her.
with Graymoor.
Yes.
Or Gilly. Gilly. The drow.
Oh, Exalthus. Yes, Taz. Miss Taz. Yes. That is unfortunate. Both blacksmiths within a few days.
Is it merely coincidence that they were both working on something for your chapel?
It sounds, from how you say it, it sounds like a coincidence, but I don't know. I'm just a man of God. I have no idea.
And as a man of God, what manner of things would you be trying to keep out with the things that they were creating for your chapel?
Well, that is a brass question, but I will admit that we have recently installed this. There were orders came down from the Curia, a governing body of the church, to increase security as a response to a band of roaming gnolls, which have ransacked a temple of ours on the other side of the kingdom. So they thought it was wise to put something in to defend us in case we had to experience the same thing.
Is there anyone you know of who would be against these new reinforcements?
Being a small hamlet that it is, it's not too strange to hear possible raids and barbarians, brutes, coming in to assault and kill. And we here have done our best to make sure that we can protect the people who cannot defend themselves.
Do I know anything about gnolls?
Knowledge, nature. Wait, I could be wrong. That's you know what? Knowledge, history.
Potato.
Potato. 17.
You know that gnolls are just like how hyenas are. They're crazy. They're savages, and they have somewhat of an order, but it's really chaotic. Most of it anarchy. You have known elves had to fight them on not a regular basis, but find them in the woods, and they just care for destruction. They will do anything, just set things on fire. They just like destroying things just for the sake of destroying things, and then pocketing whatever they find.
Are they intelligent enough to have a grudge?
Not intelligent enough to have a grudge, but they are intelligent enough to understand basic language, even have a language of their own amongst themselves with cackles and laughs. If goblins were to dwarves, then gnolls would be to elves. If that makes sense.
And the blacksmith Gilly, do you happen to know anything of his daughter?
No, has she gone missing?
Nowhere to be seen. The house appears to have been searched methodically.
We can assume that she might be dead, or worse, kidnapped. Or maybe she found her own way and got out. Maybe to live with an aunt or an uncle. Your guess is as good as mine.
What's the feast for?
The Feast of the Moon is to celebrate the full moon by Saloon, which is a couple days. It is a time for many of the residents here to come together and mourn loss and also enjoy good times for the future.
You said full moon?
Yes, full moon. Are you a practitioner in Saloon?
Oh no. The Demeter.
What is
Or
the
full moon?
She is the goddess of moon. She helps those wanderers, travelers, navigators, questers, nature. She is benevolent. We don't mention, well, we do, but we don't mention her sister, who's much more, what's the word I would say, evil compared to what she believes. But that's for another time. I do not teach those of CR. You can tell when he talks too that he has fake dentures. Well, he has dentures in, looks to be made of cow teeth.
Ew. Can you tell if he's lying?
Go ahead and roll inside.
18.
What do you think he's lying about the last part with the goddesses?
About Erin, if he knows.
About Erin.
Where she's been. Where's she at?
It's hard to say because you yourself don't know where she is, and these list of possibilities are also out there. And yeah, you're not too sure if he's even telling the truth or he's focused elsewhere with the preparations, the Feast of the Moon. But it kind of feels like he's hiding something. You kind of see that he's being a little cagey.
This man's sketchy.
The opposing
Something about
god
everybody.
to yours.
I think it's
Are there
like
any
the
practitioners of that faith
Not the what?
around
Not
this
just the
area?
doors.
No,
Home
there
doors.
has been practitioner of that faith in not in
Show.
this area. Maybe far to the west, but not here.
Have the gnolls messed with you?
Gnolls haven't been seen here in quite a long time, maybe 2 or 3 years. I believe Sir Thames had made sure of that with the aid of the city guard. I think it was the Emerald Enclave that assisted him in that matter.
I was it. Would you say the courier?
The courier,
His
the
orders?
governing church. Yeah.
How far is that?
For you, the governing church, if it's in the kingdom that you assume that it is, you're looking at maybe 2-3 days travel to the main metropolis city.
The dwarf was seen in a squabble with one of the victims. Is he
Grimmett.
here?
He is here.
Might you know exactly where he's at?
I can actually go get him for you if you want.
Please.
What did he do?
We just have some questions.
I have heard rumors that he got into a bit of a squabble with one of the men who have died here. I'll be sure to go get him. And see him limp up the porch. He goes inside. Be like 3 minutes later. You know, this dwarf comes out. Kind of nice in his decor. He's got the priestess robes on. Looks like he's one of the choir boys. Yeah, Father Daragar pulls him. And Grimmin kind of looks at you, and you can see he is a bit nervous. He's looking around and sure what's going to happen.
Mr. Grimmin, the squabble you had the other night, what did it pertain to?
And he runs.
Alright. Can I chase him down?
You can chase him down.
I'm chasing too.
Okay.
Are we quick enough to catch him?
What's your movement speeds? Okay, you have a strength of 17. You can carry all your gear because I made sure of it. What's
30.
your speed?
20.
20. Alright. He's outrunning you. What is your constitution modifier?
+1.
+1. What's your constitution modifier?
2.
2. Okay. You have a greater chance on getting him versus you. So in this case,
Use a cantrip?
you can.
Can I use Thorn Whip
Thorn whip.
to grab his ass?
How far does the range extend to? I believe
30 feet.
30 feet?
Hey, speaking of which, where am mine at?
And
You
I
don't
can
have any
also
spells because you're level 1.
Oh, well,
pull
cute.
him 10 feet closer to me.
Alright, go ahead. You want to make an attack on him. So you're going to roll d20 plus dexterity mod. Should be listed there.
What's my dex?
No, it's going to be on your deck cantrip you just pulled up. So you're going to roll your attack, so it's your dexterity modifier plus your proficiency. So what do you have?
Plus my proficiency? Plus 2.
Plus 2, plus your dexterity modifier?
Plus 2.
Okay, so plus 4. Alright, take that roll. You get plus 4.
I got 16.
Alright, how would you like to describe your spell?
I'd like to describe it as just like hands go to the ground and just vines out of nowhere rip out of the ground and into my hand as like a handle.
Okay.
And just like the rest of it just whips out of the ground and then
Alright.
Indiana Jones style.
You see quickly books as everyone's trying to act as you take your hand and it almost seemingly, it's like putting your hand in water as you dip through the earth real quick as you grab something and you lift it out as this vine-like whip bursts out of the ground and you lash it forward and almost in like this circle. Just grab him and you pull him closer, getting him caught in this bind back into his normal spot, and he like starts struggling trying to get out of it as some of the thorns start cutting into his nice acolyte robes, I guess would be the correct word. Yeah, he's like trying to get out of it. And yeah, pulled it right in front of you again.
Scorpio now. Get over here.
These are but simple questions, Sir Grimmin. Why do you run?
You see how he's struggling. You know, one thing I could tell you about that fella, Neri. He won that fight we had. He tries to like struggle and like lifts up his robes just enough that you see this nasty bruise on his side. Turns out, before he was a Cooper, he was a soldier, but didn't have a blade or nothing on him. Stayed real cool when I hit him, and just rolled me over his shoulder onto the ground. I'm sorry he's gone. I hope I had nothing to do with that.
If we release you, you stand here and answer the rest of our questions?
The best that I'm able to, yeah. I can do that.
Down
I glare at him, and then I release the whip.
Yeah, you release the whip
Put it
as
back in the ground.
as the vines kind of fall and just dissipate back into the ground. But yeah, he stays there.
Now stand and hold yourself with dignity and answer the rest of our questions.
Try to fix
So
himself
where?
up and listens.
His dad.
Do you hold any grudge over this man for besting you?
Not at all. Not at all.
What was the
Why?
reasoning for your fight?
Well, we had a bit of a spiff, a difference in religion. I care about faith to a degree, and he was one that think that the gods were a bunch of rubbish. They were not doing anything for us, to anybody, people, nothing. And I figured he right so justified that maybe a good learning would put that on him. Didn't know it would happen this way. You know, that poor fellow's dead.
What of the other victims? Did you know any of them as well?
More of hearsay. Most of my time has been here. I'm good at singing, and I dream of going into much better things. Into the city, in fact. So I've stayed away and kept to myself.
Spend a lot of time here at the chapel.
If I'm not spending my time here, I simply will go to the bar, to Graymoor's Bend. Sometimes I'll drink every now and then. Sometimes I'll get a bit too rowdy. Just here and there.
What do you think is happening to these people?
Your guess is as good as mine, yes. From looking at the bodies, it looks like somebody was real keen on using a blade. And spines were severed. It's a real shame.
Do you think it was a blade?
With the single laceration, yes, Very well do so.
Most recent victim had a double laceration.
I did not know that.
Does
Was
anybody
that
have
George
a
Gilly?
weapon?
And Father Derrigor goes, there's one more. This happened today. No, I did not know that. Maybe 2 swords, I don't know.
What of the chapel? You spend a lot of time here. Do you buy that the reinforcements to the building are for protection against gnolls?
I do believe that.
Even though said gnolls haven't been seen in such areas as within the last few years.
It doesn't necessarily always have to be about gnolls, but there's bandits that come, and now that Sir Thames is gone, not much real defenses here. From what Father Derrigor told me, it's a wise move to have for the church. So, for people who need to hide and protect themselves, can stay here and be protected with the presence of Saloon.
Were you away from the chapel at any time last night?
Nope, I was here in preparation for the Feast of the Moon.
I see, as I pull a piece of bacon out of my pocket.
Catch them unaware.
I'm still glaring at him.
Can I be excused now?
You may. Thank you for your time.
I guess.
Thank you. So he makes his way back inside. Father Derrigor, is there anything else that I can assist you with? Is that all you need?
Are there anyone else in your congregation that might have known the victims any better?
This is a small town. I assume that everybody knows everybody.
Who might have known the best of the victims?
If I were to guess, probably the bartender. She sees a lot of patrons coming and out.
Can we see the reinforcements that you're adding to the building?
We have a lot of preparation in the busyness of a lot of my priests. I would request if you would stay out here while they make sure everything gets done. We don't want to be caught in their ways.
Are you planning on having them done before the Feast of the Moon?
That would be the goal of it, yes.
Interesting.
And how much will it hinder you now that the 2 blacksmiths you've hired have been removed from the equation, so to say?
If you were referring to the latches and the mechanism, they have already been installed inside.
I see.
Can we go inside? A prayer?
I insist that you don't. Again, the congregation is preparing and getting everything set up. You would just be in their way. As they're trying to set up the banners, the fees, the tables. There's a lot that needs to be cleaned. There's a lot.
But shouldn't a church's doors always be open?
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. But in this case, for these last 3 days, there's just been a lot of preparation.
Not
We
much
only
of
have
a
so much
church
help.
goer. Is that normal?
Hmm?
I said I'm not much of churchgoer. Is that normal?
That is normal. You believe in your own faith. It's just about what you believe, and that's what you believe. People come in, thinking the rights and wrongs.
Is he lying?
I mean, roll insight.
I thought of that on my own.
Yeah, totally.
Flying.
I don't remember what my thing is. I should know. 10.
Looking inside, just having a talk, you can see that there are a lot of people moving in, putting things up, getting on ladders, assisting. That there's a good one. You can hear the choir practicing and reading their music. Like they're just busy in there.
Do I notice anything unusual with the church, the grounds, people, anything?
Perception check.
Can I roll for perception on that as well?
4 plus, so 8. Oh, you did better.
I'm just adding the 1.
No, you're gonna add 11.
Oh, I do the proficiency. Wait.
Hold on, let me see your sheet. You have, perception, see how it's bubbled in. That means you get a +3 right there. So, that +3.
Okay, so 11.
11. From what you guys gather, just from looking out here, that nothing seems to be out of the ordinary. Again, looks like they are prepping up for this feast of the moon. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. So.
Is the pastor gone? Or is he still standing with
The
us?
father, he's still with you.
Oh, the father.
Can I just straight up ask him if he's lying?
Yeah. Girl, you can say whatever you want.
Reach out, fucking grab his junk, and squeeze, and be like, fucking tell me the truth.
Yeah.
I'm lying.
What would make you suspect that I'm lying to you? I've been more than truthful.
I don't believe
That's what a liar would say.
that exactly.
Is there anything I can say or do to convince you otherwise?
I don't believe that's what your
You could show us.
bars are for.
Would take but a moment, Father.
You're hiding something.
Be quick. There's going to be a lot of people in there. And like, he goes up the steps and he leads you inside. And like, sure as shit, as you get in there, as you're looking around, like somebody bumps into you and like a streamer kind of like hits you in the face. And you can see there's like some kind of stress onto him. As you're looking around, yeah, it looks like there's these two mechanisms flanking the inside the door. Keep it solid if it were to close, but they're not closing it right now. They're there, they'll point there and there, and keeps the doors locked and sealed from in here. Is that good enough?
Do we notice anything sketchy? No?
Nothing seems to be sticking out.
Very well, Father. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your
Sorry
time.
for your inconvenience.
I will see you here on the Feast of the Moon. Are you going to be in town for that long?
We'll see.
Unsure as of yet, but if we are, we might attend.
I hope to see you there. All right, well, good luck with, I guess, your investigation. I hope to hear good news after today. There's too many deaths here in this town.
I wave farewell with another piece of bacon.
Just learn the bacon instead. So, you guys depart. And you can see that you guys have been running around, going to the blacksmith, took some hours. Going into this chapel took a good chunk of hours. That's dipping back into the evening again.
Should we go back to the tavern and ask, what's her name? About... They're friends, right?
Huh?
She's friends.
Yeah, apparently she knew everyone
The drow?
best.
Yes.
No, the half orc.
Yeah.
The barkeeper.
Exaltist.
Yes.
I don't think that was it. but-
No. it
Was that it?
It was an X.
Okay, whatever.
Names are too hard.
X-A-L-Y-T-H.
Okay.
That would be that drow's name. X-A-L-Y-T-H, last name Tass. T-A-S-S.
Well, that was the one that got killed.
That was the most recent one that got killed, yes.
Yeah, I think they
The
were.
drow.
Salad.
And they
The
were
one you're referring to was the half-word named Sag. S-A-G-H.
Yeah.
Sack.
Yeah, let's go talk to Sock.
Sack. Sack it to me.
You make your way back to the Graymoor band. You find Sag there. We'll speak. Nobody, no patrons are in there. Now that dips into the hard evening. She's cleaning up some of the stuff, cleaning off some of the tables. Oh, you just missed your friend, Mr. Oswald, the coroner. He just took Exalthe's body to the chapel. You look like you have a question for me.
Still no sign of Aaron.
Still no sign of Aaron. I haven't heard anything. I even asked around. Nothing.
When was the last time you saw your friend? Before
I...
she died.
Exile.
Oh, thought you were talking about Henrietta. No. I saw her.
Oh, we know.
Yeah, you see, I kind of laughing, like blushing like that. The last time I saw her was, I guess, yesterday, when George Gilly died. I saw her.
She seemed okay.
She was shy. She was quite timid. And she was rattling in tongues, but she felt paranoid that she was going to be the next one to die, and it did happen, oddly enough.
Did she mention to you why she thought she'd be next?
The constant happenings of this village, from one thing to another. I assume drows are not normally liked. They're known for their malice and deception. The drow culture is more hated than ever. Doesn't mean we can't get along. It just depends on the person. Starts at the home. Can I get you something to drink at least? This is
Ale.
awkward for all of us.
Ale for me.
Yeah.
Got any more of that bacon?
Ran out of it. She brings out an ale on the house for all of you as you guys can sit at the table and no other customers come in.
Do we notice anyone, like the hooded figure that Gilly had talked to?
Mm-mm. Didn't see that either.
What race was the Gilly dude?
George Gilly was a human.
Okay.
What are we thinking?
So it seems that you do all of the victims the best.
Well, I'm the only in the bar here, so I would say that yes, I do know a lot of these individuals that come in. They get drunk and they tell their stories, and sometimes I listen.
Has anyone else around town been acting off? Maybe also suspicious that they might be next.
Not that I know of. Not that I've seen or heard.
Assuming there is a killer on the loose, who do you think would be next?
I assumed that it would probably be me, but
Why you?
I'm here at the bar mostly alone. I know a lot of these people who've died. I would assume so. Or maybe even Henrietta. She might have some secrets on her back in her previous life when she was more into the weaving of magic. But that has long been gone.
Where's Henrietta?
She's probably, at this time, probably sleeping at her home. It's about a 2-hour walk from here. At this time, you can tell that the sun's pretty much dipping over the horizon.
Henrietta?
I feel like somebody should stay, keep their eye on this one.
Probably.
All these killings have been happening at night, but your crew seems to be able to handle it itself. But would you
Josh
like to
Ross?
be adventurous?
I'll stay with her.
No scars? Someone needs to check on Henrietta. I think.
She's strong enough to take care of herself, I assure you.
Is she?
We're not the last victims.
Oh, I can tell you she is. You think I'm the one on top.
She hasn't lost all of her magic, right?
Nope, she seems to know how to use those fingers and the somatic opponents. And those words don't hurt either.
Oh my.
Oh.
Throwing tea all everywhere.
Oh, it's so spicy.
Spicy.
as she might be to defend herself, probably still check on her, as I'm sure blacksmiths are well versed in the uses of their own weapons, and neither of them survived.
I down my ale. Get up.
You down your house. Get up. If you want to check on her, go ahead. She's right down the road, 2 hours walk from here.
You're staying with the blacksmith?
At the bar? Yeah.
Bartender.
Yeah, I'll stay with her.
You two make your way out as you go spend 2 hours. You make to Henrietta's. As you find that the light's still on, looks like she's reading a book. Knock on her door. She answers. What can I do for? It's kind of late in the evening and expect company. News? Pursue?
Just suspicions.
Suspicions. Suspicions for...
There's thoughts that maybe you might be next. You feel the same way?
Anybody can be next at this point in this town. Well, I have more than enough to take care of myself.
Why would somebody target you, though?
I guess I know a few things. Let's see, I have dealt with a few magicians in my time. I've seen a plethora of the world. I have a few notes and studies of the things that I have experienced when I was a young adventurer. There's also the contact with the witch in the woods here in the hamlet. I could see myself being quite valuable, so I'm going to suspect an attack.
Witch of the woods, you say?
If you're curious on where she is, you will have to get an invitation from her. You can't just waltz on in there.
And how might one procure such an invitation?
Oh, she'll come to you.
What does she look like?
Who knows?
Well, you would know, wouldn't you? You've had contact.
Someone of solitude and hiding. She keeps to herself, changes her facades. Some say they think they saw her as a great stag, and others as some small fairy. If you want to hide, you know how to hide. She likes her privacy, like what she said. I can respect a woman like that.
Might she be someone that the townsfolk may have feared, specifically Gilly?
Oh, no, she keeps to herself most of the time. People barely even know her. She rarely comes out. And even if she does, you probably could have walked past her.
Everyone that's been killed so far, though, would they have a common enemy? And who?
Everyone here knows each other. I don't know what kind of enemy there would be. At first, I just thought it was, I don't know, maybe some marauder who wanted to take a life, starting with Sir Thames, and then it was Neri. Now it was George. And now this latest one. I feel that whoever's doing it, whatever is doing it, is after something. Is maybe sending out a warning. A message, perhaps?
What about enemies of the chapel?
That's a good hypothesis, which I wouldn't put it too far away. Sloane's sister. They have enemies. Who else? Maybe highwaymen? No, I wouldn't come out and make such a stupid effort. There's just a lot of possibilities I couldn't tell you.
You know of anyone unhappy with the recent changes to the chapel?
Not that I've heard. Even then, what recent changes have occurred?
We've reinforced the doors. 2 of the victims were working on such reinforcements, which apparently were finished just before their deaths.
That is odd.
They claim it's for gnolls. You seen any?
I have seen some gnolls. I have heard recent attacks on the other side of the kingdom. That gnolls have made attacks. I've heard that was... No, that can't be true. That was years ago. When have I seen gnolls? Maybe... that was like at least 7, 8 years ago. And they were just out in the woods, just doing what they do, harassing elves, burning trees. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I mean, they have killed quite a many people, don't get me wrong, and don't just do anything just to cause destruction.
You still haven't thought of anything that pertains to the curse that Gilly wrote of.
I didn't know that there was a curse. I don't know what curse that would be implying to.
Can we show her the note?
Yes.
If you want.
And see if she can make sense of whatever curse he might have been referring to.
Yeah, she looks it over, reads it. This is not Sir Thames is part of an order. And I wonder what he means. I guess as good as mine. This is something to look into.
You still have the trinket? The arrowhead?
Yeah, sorry.
You pull that out and show it to her. Ask her if she knows why Gilly would want to protect his daughter from witchcraft.
She looks at it, just must be an arrowhead. I don't know. Is there a story behind this?
The other note.
That's an elf arrow. Okay. No, it's not an elf arrow. What's this? This is odd. Let me look in the back real quick. Starts going through some notes, flipping through some pages. You guys wait on it.
How long has Sir Thames been dead?
Over 2 weeks. Well, it is an arrowhead from my research. It looks anything could have possible. I don't know. Where did you find this?
It was in Gilly's house in a locked chest that was dug out of the floorboards.
So we just
Left behind for his daughter, who didn't take it.
She's missing.
And it
Aaron's
appears
missing.
she's not the one who dug it up. Because the key was not used. It was still in its hiding spot.
Well, there are old traditions with plating with arrowheads, which you probably have heard about that. But this one in particular is actually enchanted. There is a magic about it, but it seems to actually be worked properly. It needs to be affixed on a shaft and only then fired from a bow.
What sort of magic?
Well, if my guesses are correct, what you have found is an arrow of shape changer slaying, which my guess is possibly a fae in the woods must have dropped it. And over time, it eventually got dug up and George must have found it. Maybe a dealings, perhaps, in the past, because this is a quite rare of a find, and it hasn't been used. Yet there's no shaft indicating or breaking.
George indicated in his note to his daughter that he believed it to be an elf arrow and that he was protecting her from witchcraft by coating it.
Yes, it can be misconstrued as an elf arrow, but luckily for me, I'm not so out of touch with my work that this particular elf arrow is enchanted. That's explained. It seems like a lot of this makes sense.
As far as shape changers go, any heard of in this area?
shape changers, as in, I guess, well, I counted one in particular. Have you ever heard of a phase spider? Phase spiders usually tend to the Underdark. I haven't encountered one in my recent travels. I found a drow merchant in the Underdark with a few of my companions, and we hit it off actually rather well. A part of it in his cages, he had a phase spider, which at a young age it doesn't have any means to know how to change. But as it got older, it was able to polymorph into a humanoid. So I guess that would be the closest thing to a shape changer. Have I seen phase spiders here? No. No, I have not. They're about maybe 3,000 feet below us.
What about things that can change into dogs, possibly?
Not that I've heard of here.
No lichens or anything like that?
I've been in this town for quite a long time, and I haven't heard anything of lycanthropy or people turning into different sized creatures.
In his letter, Thames talks about an old contact. Do you know anything about that?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, what about Swords of the Lady?
Swords of the Lady is a religion that Sir Thames was a part of. I'm not sure exactly what religion or, I guess, guard that he was a part of, but it sounded one that was a part of the kingdom.
Is there a nearby temple?
For that, no. The nearest temple would be the Chapel of Saloon. But the Old Lady is not that. I mean, if I had more to go on, it seems like just the only letter.
Would members of such an order be found at the chapel?
It is possible. I'm not too wise into that matter, so I could be misinterpreting the information.
Any outside friends that Sir Thames may have had visit any time before his death?
Sir Thames more or less kept to himself, and he would make his own personal patrols and do what the people thought he was right. No one had any problems with him, and he made no enemies. A lot of this questioning and trying to get to the bed. Hit the hay, one would call it. But I assure you, I am well and safe.
Okay.
Where's your friend? Is there one more?
She's watching over your friend.
Oh, she's at the Graymoor bend. She can handle herself, I assure you.
Yeah.
So we've been...
I feel there is more to this story, and I do not want to look into it any further. With that, don't call me rude, but I wish to retire to my bed. I will be sleeping with one eye opened, a blade under my pillow, and I think I still have a wand of fireball somewhere in my house.
Stay safe.
Of course, you too.
We bid you good night with the very last piece of bacon in my pocket.
It is an old bacon.
It is old
It's
bacon.
cold. It's crispy. It snaps.
It's still bacon.
You make your way back to the Graymoor. Kayla, it is just you there. Do you have any questions that you want to say to the half-orc, or no?
I don't think so. I think we asked her pretty much everything.
Okay. About 4 hours total goes by, and your companions come back.
So after looking at Thames' note more, he said something about his companion, contact, whatever, hiding what he needed at his house. And it should have been there within, 2 nights? But he's been dead for 2 weeks, so... Do you think the thing is there?
Possible.
So
So anywho, when we get back and we fill her in on everything that we talked to
Yeah, that's
the other trick
I did that.
Well, she probably doesn't know what that is, so if you want to actually inform her.
The arrowhead is a shape changer thing, right?
It was
I'm focused on the note.
possible Fey arrow for destroying shape changers.
Destroying. Okay.
And it should have been attached to an arrow, but it looks as though it had never been broken off, so it's possible that it was never attached to the shaft.
He likes to be attached to the shaft.
She also said it's been about 7 to 8 years since any of whatchamacallit's been
Knolls.
seen. Yeah, Knowles been seen in the area.
I'm calling shenanigans on the
So they're not a
knolls.
threat.
I don't think they are.
Yeah.
I think the
It seems not.
father was lying about that for sure. I think he was. I want to know what this item is. I want to know where Aaron is. I want to know who the contact was.
I want to go back to the father and tell him he's a fucking liar again.
Just go straight to his face.
Does it say where they were gonna hide?
It doesn't say where. Just by my house is what it says. Near my house.
So, should we go back to the house?
What time is it?
To 10 o'clock at night.
Should we wait till morning and go
Probably
search
should
his
wait
house
till
again?
morning so we can see.
Probably.
Search around the house.
Is half orc lady Sog? She's still up.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask her if she knows anything about Ulrich. Because that's who the note's for. She knows who that is.
Alright, never heard that name before.
Here to help Sog.
Say one more ale and then off to bed. There's
Yeah.
more search in the morning.
Sounds good.
Cheers!
You guys make your way up to the beds. By the time you get to your doors, you hear the downstairs door open pretty hard. Just loud enough that the whole place could have probably heard it. And you hear some breathing and some words happening. Like talk communication going, not until yelling, but it's loud enough that you pick up that the person is frantic. Sounds like a male.
Can we hear what's being said?
As you start to hear what is being said, you can see that it gets quiet. It gets quiet for a moment, and you hear a tankard of ale to the counter as this guy starts drinking it, like almost loudly. And you can hear some footprints coming up to you guys, up to the second floor.
I'm gonna start towards the footprints.
Yeah. As you guys start to turn around because your curiosity gets the better of you, you can see Sog as she's making her way up, and she looks, there's some news. You've got another body up at the abandoned barn. The Calkin fella's coming pretty shook up about it, and you're not gonna like who it is.
Is it Aaron?
Hmm?
Who is it?
She goes back downstairs, not telling you who it is. She goes back to the first floor and see her cut the corner. She goes to her normal spot.
Who's the man that walked in?
You see that you've seen the man before, but you never actually had any talk with him. Looks to be another elf. Looks to be wearing middle-class clothing, sweating, kind of vowing to himself after drinking. You see him getting plastered quick and fast, just ale after ale, just vowing to leave and never return. And you hear the mumbling. It's like, just abandon this place. Just get out of here. And he looks up to see you guys.
Pace yourself, good sir. What troubles you?
Well, I was on my way. Do my normal things here in the late wee hours of the night, and to my disarray, someone is dead inside the abandoned barn. I'm not sure who it is. But I'm done with this place. I'm just... This is it. No more. No more. Too many deaths. This is getting too close for me. I am leaving first thing in the morning. How about it? Just...
You don't know who it was?
Well, if you want to enter an abandoned barn with unknown light and see a body or a corpse that you aren't familiar with, I don't think your first thing was like, oh, I know who it is. It's, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. So, sorry. You adventurers can go investigate for yourself.
I'm already walking out the door.
Is it man or woman? Did you at least see that?
Dead is what I saw. Dead. Drinks another tankard.
Grab him by the shirt and slap him.
Yeah, you slap him. Get your hands off me. You know where I've been. I don't need this. I don't need this. He just gets up and you see him just go to the other, like another table, just plumps down. Another. Bring me another. Just get rid of it. The merchants. Sog looks at you at the abandoned barn. It's about a half an hour from here. You can't miss it. Just follow the trail. Hang a left.
Keep an eye on this one. Don't let him leave.
I don't think he's going to be going anywhere. As he just fills up another tankard.
Keep his drinks coming so that he's here when we come back.
I don't think he'll be here mentally.
Doesn't matter.
So, the walk to the abandoned barn is a solid half hour of trudging uphill in the woods outside the town.
Fuck hills, I need more bacon.
The dark creeps in from the trees, and you can only imagine Calkin's fearful flight into town. The light of the moon, just a hair away from full, breaks the canopy in long silken ribbons of light. Eventually, you find a clearing atop the hill, and the barn looms before you in the tall grass, foreboding.
Tis foreboding.
What was he doing out there? I mean, I know he's not here now, but I should have asked him that before we left. He's not whatnot. Let's go.
Going in.
Is there any way to peer inside before opening?
You see that the barn door is slightly ajar.
Do we notice anything?
Not from where you are. The barn is rather big, and there's a lot of stuff inside that lingers. So it's hard to make out exactly what's in here. But you do catch the hint of something dead inside.
Pull a torch out.
Yeah. As you have some illumination into the barn, looking around, yeah, you can smell it, but you're not seeing it.
I do perception. See
I do pretty
what's around the
slight.
area before we walk in.
You see a lot of farm stuff, farm carts, some hay, some barley, ladders, just a lot of basic farm equipment that have just been left in there.
I do produce flame.
Okay, 2 sources of light at your disposal.
I want to investigate the body.
Alright. Investigation check. Alright.
20.
20. You go inside. You can go inside this giant bar by yourself. Anybody else going?
I'm going.
Yes.
Okay. Looking inside the barn, you find scattered splotches of blood centered around a horrifically mangled corpse. At the right angle of your light, you see the body belonging to Oswald, the coroner. You can tell that, judging by its body, that this is the work of something with giant claws.
What are the wounds? They're the same.
different from before. It looks like whatever attacked at him was almost like a
Just claws.
ravage. Just almost wanted to tear him asunder. Just pieces on like the lacerations of like one solid gouge on the back. This one seems to be just every which direction. It's surprising. Lucky that the face had some semblance of who you knew what you were seeing.
Do we notice any footprints? Paw prints? Anything?
Well, as you investigate, you hear a soft bonk and turn suddenly to find the barn shut. Within seconds, the scent of burning mold envelops you. Black smoke starts to rush up the walls like an inverted waterfall. Flames climb from the corners to the rafters. What do you do?
Barn's on fire?
Barn
any
is
other
on
way out?
fire!
Stop, drop, and roll.
I'm gonna try to open the door first.
Alright, you make a rush to the door. You try to open it. Looks like it's barred from the other side.
Is there any other doors, windows, anything?
Looks like a lot of it was barred up, abandoned. Try to keep everything tight so there would be no intruder, only one entry and one exit.
Is there any... Can we perceive any hidden doors
Roll
or
perception.
traps?
You start looking around as the barn is almost completely engulfed. You're trying to find any other exits or secret doors and nothing.
Well, fuck.
Are there any walls that look a little weak?
From the flames now, possibly, as they're mostly engulfed. Everyone roll a dexterity saving throw. Throw.
17.
So for you, it'll be... Yep, that was 2.
12.
Plus 1.
Yep. 12. Alright. You see some of the rafters fall down and start striking. You manage to evade one of them, but 2 of them strike at you, hitting off your body. You both suffer 2 points of fire damage.
Yeah.
Time's a factor. What are we doing?
I'm gonna pull out my warhammer and bash a wall down.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an attack.
Oh, well, that's fucked. 5?
5.
Wait. Am I doing proficiency and...
Yes, and strength.
Oh, okay. So
2,
11?
2 plus 3 is 5. So 5 plus... What's it?
Or
3?
wait.
5 plus 3.
What am I doing? Oh, okay. So 8?
8. Yeah. You take your warhammer and you go up to a wall and you put power into it. Nothing. Like, you chipped away at it, but it wasn't enough to actually strike through damage.
If I do acid splash on it, would it deteriorate
It's possible.
to make it easier?
Acid does eat away at things. Also,
And I
fire is
assume
looking at it.
it's made of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna try acid splash right where he hit it.
Okay. I'm not rolling anything away. Go ahead and roll damage.
What do I roll? D6?
Mm-hmm. You throw some acid down and just you see that it hits the wall and it started deteriorating, eating away at some of it that it actually makes small openings and holes.
I'm gonna do it again.
Kill, what are you doing?
Can I still get to the door?
You're still at the door, yeah.
Can I get out my dagger and see if I can pop up whatever's blocking the door?
You can most certainly try. Go ahead and make a dexterity check.
20?
Yes.
6.
6.
8.
You start finagling with the door, you take your dagger, you plunge it in there, you try to lift up the bar, and it's just not having it. You start scraping as you can feel the fire getting closer and closer to you. Everyone suffers 2 fire damage. The heat, the air, it starts hurting your eyes. What are we doing?
I'm doing the acid splash again.
Acid splash again. Okay. 5 more on the same wall as you again more of the acid hits it. It almost sounds like liquid dissipating with the fire as you see a small hole form with your acid.
Hit that again.
Yeah, I might hit that again.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Go ahead.
My roll's been shit.
You
today.
get advantage on it. Roll again. Take the better. So whatever that one was.
18.
It was an 18, so you can get higher. Nope, it's a 1. So okay, so the other one.
18. 23.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Fuck, what is that? Where the fuck's the 8? This one the 8?
Yep.
Seven?
7. All right.
Wait, what the fuck is this?
Okay, with a warhammer, if you wield it in one hand, you deal d8. If you wield it in two hands, you deal d10.
Oh, well, fuck.
So, go up to the wall, you take your warhammer, and you strike at it, busting it open, making a clear exit for you and your companions.
Looking out of that bitch.
Right. Caleb, what are you doing?
Wait, you guys got out?
Yeah.
We made
Oh, well, I'm gonna get out too, obviously.
Lack of communication. Cool, I'm gonna get out. Caleb at the door. Everyone's out.
Still trying.
Glad we told her that.
Fuck out here!
I almost got it, guys.
She looks back, we're gone.
You stumble out of the burning structure, panting, steam in the frigid air, sweat cooling on your back behind you. The barn collapses, and a geyser of sparks climb up into the night around you. The dark of the woods is torn away by the fire and cast into jumping, leering shadows. For just a moment, 2 yellow eyes reflect the firelight back at you before they vanish into the trees.
Interesting.
Someone tried to burn us alive, and that's what you got to say? The fuck? I say we followed in my balls.
Do we know which way they went?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Do they look human?
The eyes? No.
They don't.
No, they just look like 2 yellow eyes reflect the firelight back at you. It's hard to really know what they were.
Let's go.
All right, you guys give chase, and you hear it in the distance, just farther, until nothing.
So it's running.
It's clearly outpacing you. That you just can't catch up to it. You spend 20 minutes trying to chase it into the woods. It's clear gone.
Does it leave tracks?
Knowledge nature.
Good question. Get off fucking score.
16.
Looking at it, following the trail, and like looking at it and looking at the prints, that it is certainly the trail of a wolf, one that is bigger than it should be. And oddly enough, looking at it, these are the exact same size as the ones you found right outside George Gilly's house.
Why are these wolves trying to kill us?
Is the trail distinct enough to follow?
In these woods at night, you'll get lost. Putting you at a disadvantage for whatever waits out there. But if you want to, you can most certainly try.
Go back to the inn and question the guy getting shit-faced.
Alright. What do you do now?
I remove the safety pin from the table.
It's my
Well,
nose, sir.
it's really dark, right?
It is.
I'm gonna do my produce flame so we can see at least a little bit.
Well, there is enough giant barnyard fire to give you some semblance of light as you make your way back to the woods.
Haven't we been running after this thing for 20 minutes, though? We should be far enough from that barn, right?
You're far enough from the barn, but you can still make out of it. You can still make
To
the
go
barn
back.
out. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Should we go back and question the drunk guy again? Ask him if he saw anything, or get drunk with him, or...
If he's still there.
He should still be there.
All of the above. Let's go get drunk and ask him questions.
Yeah, let's ask drunken questions to the drunk guy.
you guys...
Yeah.
Let me ask you something.
You guys make your way back to the barn. You can see that it is still on fire. It's fallen. The half-orc Sog is trying to organize a rescue party and getting people to bring buckets as they're just trying to put this fire out so that it doesn't spread or anything.
Couldn't they just throw snow at it? There's snow everywhere.
Let it burn.
That's true, I forgot there's
They're doing anything to try to douse out the flames. In the meantime, by the time you guys approach, you see a plethora of townsfolk come up to you asking what's going on, what's happening? And Henrietta is like, I was just told myself, what seems to be happening? Why is there a barn on fire? You just multiple people coming up to you. You and Sog, what happened? Was this what the attack is now? Just coming at you with questions.
These are all great questions that I would like to fucking know who locked us in the goddamn barn. Tried to burn us down.
I don't know. Why is the barn on fire?
Where's my ale?
Those are great questions. While you guys are clearly going in every different directions, you notice an owl lands nearby, and you see that there is something attached to its neck.
Can you keep it? I want it.
Hernetta steps out of the crowd and points. It's got a letter. She says, sure enough, tied around the bird's neck with a piece of twine is a pale sealed envelope. The owl preens itself, cutting the string with its beak before flying away, leaving the letter to flutter down into the frosty mud. She goes up and grabs it, unfurls it. Oh, this is addressed to you. And she hands it to you. Opening it up, 4 words. Send them to me.
It's the witch.
Yes.
About fucking time.
Then what?
So the
Bring me bacon.
woman I've explained earlier is the old lady Sybil. You know, most of the people don't trust her, and stories of kids that she's gonna gobble you up, blah 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 blah. You've heard similar tales elsewhere. Likes her own privacy. Well, I can tell you how to get to her house. I first have to run home and grab the instructions because frankly I forgot them myself. So you help with the fire and I will be right back. So you just kind of make haste.
4 more hours.
Kind of speed faster than normal, almost like this wind is magically pushing her. What do you do in the meantime?
I'm not going back to the barn.
I'm gonna help put the fire out,
Yeah.
I guess.
Alright, yeah. You start helping the townsfolk get some buckets to try to put the fire out, which relatively in 30 minutes you get it controlled to the point that at this point it's just a small bonfire and things that are inside have just completely burned away if it was made of material of wood.
I've made friends with the owl,
What about
and we're
the,
watching them put out the fire.
what about dude's body? Is that completely burned up, or is there anything left?
Completely burned up.
Well, shit.
Do we notice anything outside of the barn? Tracks?
Just the normal trucks that you pointed out when you were going chasing after it. Same thing.
What about anything that might have been in dude's pocket?
What time?
Oh, what time is it?
Yeah. Is it still night?
You're looking at almost at the early hours of the morning.
So
That it's
some sunlight kind of.
The sun's going to be coming up anytime now.
Okay.
Just helping out anything. Even the people who didn't go to sleep, but they're too concerned with what's happening.
So nothing on dude's person survived. Like,
Burned away.
bullshit.
You get, yeah, right now, after that, when you see the sun just come up, you can see Henrietta as she's making her approach. You gather outside of the front of the Graymoor Bend. As the sun rises, the cloud above is broken up. Tonight will be clear, and the full moon will be bright.
Excuse me.
Henrietta comes up. Okay, old lady Sybil's house. I had trouble finding it, but I did find it. Here are the instructions on how to get to her. It's all here. Just here you are.
Go to the edge of the forest, doesn't matter where. Whisper the following. Freedom on the edge of the wood, a pale star, guided by the spirit who walks freely. 2. Walk forward until the trees block out the sun. 3. Close your eyes and keep walking until you feel her doorstep. 4. Do not go inside unless invited. 5. To leave, do everything in reverse.
Alright, now rip it up and remember all that shit.
No. Keep that away from him.
That's that one.
Well, good luck, and
Thank
see
you.
old lady Sybil yourself.
Old ladies love me. Let's do this. Is there more bacon?
You'll have to talk to Sag, and she's pretty much pooped at this point from all the.
Does she poop bacon?
Oh, I bet she is. Where were you when the fire started?
Well, as we,
Not her,
You weren't-
specifically.
I was with these two, and they can vouch for me. And I don't know, I live about an hour and a half away from
I
that
thought it was 2
bonfire.
hours away.
Yes, and 20 minutes from Graymoor Bend to there. Plus a little magic goes a long way. So, shouldn't you be off talking to the lady instead of questioning my
Sure.
ethics?
Oh. Damn.
Alright,
Boomer.
let's go. Let's find this witch lady.
Alright. You go to the edge of the forest.
Yeah, whisper the thingy.
I'm gonna whisper out loud. Freedom on the edge. Stop it. Of the wood, a pale star guided by the spirit who walks freely. Oh, now we have to walk forward.
Yeah.
Alright. You walk forward until the trees block out the sun. You all watch her?
No,
we're going too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we need to close our eyes.
Close our eyes and just
Keep
walk
walking.
into a door.
And I imagine fields of bacon.
You guys keep walking.
My eyes are closed.
Unfortunately for you two, you both bump into a tree and your friend has gone.
Oh,
As you open your
I
eyes,
stubbed my toe.
Sybil's house stands before you. Not the ramshackle hut you may have expected, but a tall, thin manor. At least 3 stories high. The house must have been once looked magnificent, but standing for so long in the woods has turned to gray and covered it with a coiling vine and cobwebs. As you walk up to the door, you find a bronze door knocker. Half oxidized and green, it's a lion with a ring in its mouth, but something about it keeps it from knocking. It's as if it can see you. At your feet, you realize there's a package with you and your names on it.
So
As you look around, your allies are not with you.
my eyes are open now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's at the beginning as you open your eyes.
Follow the package.
And there's a package?
That's
Just
right.
my name or our names?
All 3 of their names on it. But you're the only one there.
Pick up the package. I'll handle that package.
You see that it's a nicely wrapped box with a brown ribbon tied to a bow around it. inside it seems to be a letter to the party and 2 objects. The letter reads, "Hello, lovelies. I've been interested in you since you started poking around, and I think it's only fair I make myself known to you, given that it's likely you would have crossed paths with me later anyhow. The long and the short of it is, I want to help you. I can't tell you exactly what it is you must do, because, frankly, I have no idea, but I can give you this key. Take it to Henrietta's library and follow the map. You'll find what you need there. And don't forget Sir Thame's sword. Remember, do your best, and if you don't figure it out by midnight tonight, everyone in Graymoor dies. Kisses! Lady Sybil."
I love her.
All right.
You see inside, it looks like this, kind of at the edge, the back end of the key is like a heart shape with a little notch, and it's a little bit warm.
Can I knock on the door?
You can. You knock on the door. No one answers.
What are the objects? Did you tell me?
I did.
Oh.
A key and a letter.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go.
Hold on, just to make sure. You know it's a key. It's old, wrought iron thing, heavy and rusted, and a map scrawled on a roll of parchment and labeled as Henrietta's library.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the letter, and then the map and the key.
Okay.
Keister them.
I'm gonna go backwards.
Okay.
Do I have to walk backwards? Is that what that means?
Do everything in reverse?
I'm gonna walk backwards with my eyes closed.
Okay. Okay. You start walking backwards so your eyes close. You start feeling the sun once more.
I guess I need to whisper that again.
In reverse.
In reverse? Do I have to do it in reverse?
It's whatever you're doing.
I don't know.
I'll let you know if you fail something. Because something will happen.
Great.
Do everything in reverse. Okay.
As you guys make your way back out, because she disappeared.
Oh, we're together now?
Oh, you guys was, yeah, because you didn't say the words. So your friend's gone and you're in the woods.
You know, I thought it
You're
was kind of
lost
like
in the woods.
Yeah.
Magic is a fickle, weird thing.
Yeah.
What are you two doing?
I guess we're
Well-
waiting for her to show back up.
We're probably rubbing our heads because we ran into fucking trees.
I stumped my bacon.
Alright. So you continue to walk backwards.
Whale?
My eyes are closed.
Okay.
I feel the sun. At this point, I open my eyes back open.
Okay.
And then I whisper, "Freely walks who spirit thee by guided star pale a wood thee of edge thee on freedom."
Congratulations. They say that if you do this, bonus points. Go ahead, you get a point of inspiration.
Yay!
Yay, what is
Boner
that?
A
points.
point of inspiration is if you could use it or give it to other players in their time of need. Say like you do an attack. You could be like, I'm going to use my point of inspiration. Alright, so your attack now has advantage. Or be like, oh no, I have disadvantage, I like to use my inspiration. Well, this disadvantage now turned it to normal.
Can I choose to give it whenever I want to?
You can give it to anybody at any time, or you can give it to yourself.
Yeah.
You can be like, wow, you did a really good job, so-and-so. You can have my point of inspiration.
Yeah, fingers.
Oh, okay. I was reading about that in the book. I was wondering what the hell that was.
But yeah, you see her come out of the woods backwards. She says the words in her hand. 3 things.
Look what I found.
Let me see your things.
Shows all the things.
All of them.
All the things. There's always an innuendo.
In whose window? Oh,
In your window.
my window.
Your window.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so then what?
We've gotta go to Henrietta.
Yeah, we go to this chick's fucking library and search through her underdrawers.
By the way, I love this Sybil. Look at her letter.
She sounds great.
She sounds amazing.
There's a
Also,
sharp
there's
thing
something
over
about a
here.
sword.
Yes.
Yeah, the sword. Oh wait.
I
What
think
did it
that's-
say? Do we need the sword before we go
Yes.
through
He
the
said,
library?
do not
or-
forget the sword. So let's just go get that first.
Okay.
I'm thinking that might be the hidden,
sword.
the themed sword. I'm thinking that might be the hidden object that his contact was bringing.
Well, most knightly folk are buried with their swords, so we might have to dig that bastard up anyway.
In the beginning.
You guys thought I was
I still have
crazy.
the shovel. You still have the shovel, do you?
I do.
All right. Well, you spend a few hours making your way to Sir Thames' house. Looks like no one's been there. You were like the last ones that were there, so you've arrived.
Is the sword anywhere around the house, like inside somewhere?
Investigation check.
Oh, I'm bad at those.
To perceive that it would be hidden. Like anything noticeable.
You spend an hour looking in the house thoroughly, like to the point boards are being lifted, checking behind secret coves, anything, nothing
What
to
about
your avail.
Around the house.
You look around the house. You see that there's a garden. Let's see. Go ahead and roll a perception. Okay.
I don't know, right?
He has a stump in the front yard, looking around. Snow, his prized lilies. You see that the small mound where he's buried under. You see there's a small statue that he must have maybe purchased at a merchant market. You notice nearby a tree etched onto it was a little as an owl. Let's see. You also find some kind of like a compost bin that he seemed to have set up. And that's all you see.
I guess I'm gonna dig that bastard out.
Okay.
While he's digging, I'm checking out that tree with the owl.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, you start digging him up. Go ahead and roll a perception.
2.
Oh.
Plus 4, 6. Woohoo!
So, looking at the tree with the owl on it, yeah, it's interesting. A little picture of an owl.
Interesting.
Your foot kind of slides a little bit as you look down at the base of the tree. It looks like somebody has recently dug here, like really recent.
Can I
It wasn't me.
dig?
And you start digging and start hurting your fingers at a time.
He's got the shovel.
I don't know. He's got the shovel, but he's digging a grave. You're digging with your fingers in the winter. It hurts.
Cold.
You dig, and you can feel your fingertips like start hurting. You take 1 point of damage, but you hear a thud noise. You too. Yours is a body.
What ho?
Yeah, you probably start digging for maybe like 15 minutes, and then you hit something hard. You stoop to brush away the dust, finding a long black box in the earth. In the dimming sun of the glade, you open it, and soft blue light bathes your face.
What is it?
What looks to be
Sorry, I was doing my damage.
a long sword. It's color black in design.
You just dug it up for no reason.
I probably should have said something.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna punch this dude in the face once I open the coffin.
Yeah. You have the blind out as you're still like finally finished digging, and you can see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and open this coffin and punch this dead dude in the face.
Can we check his body?
You most certainly can.
I take the sword.
Okay.
Back to you guys. Look what I found.
Motherfucker!
You pull him out of the grave and you see it. and you.
Just covered in maggots.
Yeah, he's got some type of rigor mortis, but yeah, you just punch him right in his face. Looks like most of his face just caves in.
Yes. Fuck that dude.
Did you guys check the body?
Yeah, I want to know if he has any jewelry on.
Looks like he does. He has an amulet on him that's to be worn, and he has looks to be a wedding band on his right
Take them both.
What? Yeah.
Fuck that dude.
Can I take the amulet?
Yeah.
Do I know what it's made out of?
Looks to be made out of some type of steel alloy.
What's his wedding ring made out of?
Looks to be like an iron band. Real simple in design.
It's supposed to be a knight, and you bought this cheap piece of shit? I'm taking it anyway. I'm taking the finger too.
I mean, that would probably be the easiest way to get it off. Just take off the whole
There's
finger.
easier ways to get off.
You guys punch him in his face. You take his amulet and ring. For some
And
reason, yeah, and finger. After you do this, you feel this daunting feeling come over both you, and you're not so sure. You don't really feel good to your stomach. Almost like a weird shiver.
Well,
I play with the sword. This is you two.
Now I got cursed for punching this dick in the face.
bad juju.
Not all
Alright.
Jews are bad.
Henrietta? You guys done beating up the corpse?
Should we rebury him?
Yeah, fuck it.
I
I'll
guess.
rebury him.
You do your best. The prize lilies are pretty much destroyed, and the mound is a little bit higher than normal, but yeah, it takes you. It's not a whole hour, this whole endeavor. No, sorry. No, yeah. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
No.
Henrietta.
Yes.
I hope.
Too bad I don't have paper to tell you what this sword stats are.
Paper?
Yeah, take a little piece of paper. So, what do you guys do now?
We're going to Henrietta.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
search this bitch's library with our newly found curses. And our sword.
You arrive at Henrietta's house.
Gonna knock on the door.
Okay.
I punch her in the face.
She answers, "Oh, I am still tired. Oh, you're back. How was your trip? Did you see her?"
Just hold up the map and the key and walk past her.
Library.
Yeah,
Now.
Library.
Where did you find my key? You just go into her house like, it's this way.
I want to know if she's got bacon.
No. You
Why
said-
does no one have bacon?
You had bacon. She mangles, like, gets you to this downstairs. Go downstairs. She has a plethora of books and such here and there.
Nerd.
Yeah, you fuck off, man. You decipher the map and you get like a rough floor plan of the libraries, or like going through, and you have different pieces, things that she collected over her course of adventure, and you find it where it leads, where this metal grate blocks and has some hidden knowledge and books that she's keeping as private in there. Just like, I guess, judging by the map, that's where it goes. Which, yep, that's my key. Unless you want to do the honors to open my own library.
One of us can do it. I don't trust her anymore.
Well, you are in my house, so I'm putting my trust in you.
I'm just standing there brushing flakes of dead dude off my fingers.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna open the door.
The key grinds into the lock with a scream and a clink, but turns easily, and the lock pops free. Motes of dust float around the candle that Henrietta has brought with her, hanging back by the gate for fear of setting anything valuable alight. You go in there, like looking in there, and there's a book that seems to have stuck out, and Henrietta points it out. She's like, "Oh, a book of folk tales." You can see that there's a dog ear hanging out of the cover, almost like used for a book
Bookmark?
cover. Yeah, like a bookmark. And she's opens it up, turns to the exact page of lycanthropy. So, with that, you have my list of lycanthropy in my disposal. So, I'll take a picture of it. I'm going to send it to Kayla, and then you can show everyone.
This is terrible, this idea.
Look at my notes.
Actually, this is a great idea.
Now feel the notes. So wait a minute, you're telling me that this chick had a book that had knowledge of fucking lycanthropes in her basement?
I changed my mind. You know what?
And I asked her, and she was like, no, I don't know shit about that.
She wasn't able to access her own library because the key went missing.
Yeah, but
Because somebody took it.
Magic.
But she owns the book. She should have remembered some shit about that.
Which she was wondering why there was a dog ear in the exact page of this. Man,
Or she's
magic
lying.
must be really weird. Or she could be lying. You'll never know.
She's the.
Can I tell if
Maybe
she's
she
lying?
spent too much time in half-orc muff.
If
Clouded
you-
her judgment.
That could maybe. You never know.
Busy.
You see another page slip out of the book and just slowly flutters to the ground. As you grab it, it's a scroll. It seems to be a magical scroll that has a spell on it called Moonbeam.
Moonbeam.
It's too short.
She picks it up and reads it over. You are going to need this, and wraps it up. You're going to be using this.
Me?
Yes. Moonbeam is an interesting spell because it involves a lot of concentration, but when it centers on a lycanthrope, it forces them to change back. But watch out, your concentration can be broken, and if that's the case, then you will lose the Moonbeam. So, to find the spell, just look up Moonbeam. We have a player's handbook. We have two of them, so if you want to look it up and just use that, that's the source.
What is it?
I'll just add it
Moonbeam.
to
It's
my
in here?
Yep.
spells for now.
It is it's actually a druid spell.
What the hell's wrong with
Is it?
your picture, dude?
Till I turn it sideways.
Like half of this is like all blurred out right there.
Moonbeam, huh?
Okay.
I didn't write on that. So, have we been moving around long enough to have rested at all for this? We're still hurt?
You are still hurt. You have been constantly moving.
How hurt is everybody?
I took 4.
Out of how much damage? Okay, how much HP?
I have 8 left.
You
Yeah,
have
me
8?
too.
Like 50%? No.
Alright. Hey, so anybody use a bow?
No.
I have a bow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you like good with it?
What about that? Are you
Yeah.
thinking about that arrow head?
Yes.
Putting it on a bow?
We need a stick.
You have
Stick.
arrows, correct?
Yeah.
Take one of them, take the fucking head off, put the other one on.
Oh, yeah. May I do that?
It is not as simple, my dragonborn friend.
It is though.
It's-
You just.
It totally is.
You
And I also have.
you try to do
rope.
it. You try to put it together, and just there's a method to this madness.
Oh, we're all equally hurt the
I
same.
agree.
Well, all the goddamn blacksmiths are fucking dead.
Let me see if I can point you girls into the right direction.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the sword.
Well, luckily for you, I know a huntsman who's actually nearby. His name is Victor Alfier. He's a young half elf who owns the hunting shop. He could fit it on for you. You know, as long as you promise not to kill him. But
What if I promise to kill him if he fucks it up?
oh yeah, then he would definitely not want to assist you.
Oh, well.
When
Just tell him Henrietta sent you. it should be fine. But you can't miss.
The witch. When did she say to be back and do this all back? Before the
Midnight.
festival?
Wasn't it midnight?
Mm-hmm. Which just puts you guys just enough to get a long rest, and that's pretty much it. So you have to choose
I
at
feel
this
like we're
point.
gonna fight soon.
Your point of either go get the arrow fixed onto it, or get a long rest. Or one of you can do that, and you forego your long rest.
4.
Yeah, you don't get a long rest.
You said
The other two.
Forego.
or go. Oh, okay.
And one of us.
I understand you guys understand big
Hold
words. Must be sucky when you guys don't have a thesaurus.
Must be sucky when you can't say thesaurus.
Yeah, that was the joke. That's why I said it wrong.
Learn your dinosaurs, man.
I think we should just say fuck it and go fix the arrow.
I we
need
could
rest.
do one of us rest, or the two of us rest. One doesn't. I do have cure wounds.
I'll take the fucking arrow.
Hey, you guys figure it out.
You guys do the rest.
Where do I find my spellcasting ability modifier?
It would be your wisdom modifier. That's your spell casting.
+2. So it'd be a 1d8 +2. If I do that.
Okay.
We could do that.
Okay. I'll take the arrow. You two do the rest.
Sweet.
Cool.
Oh, I guess
I mean, you can still- you can still get a short rest.
Nice.
A kickback.
Does short rest heal anything?
Well, for a fighter for you, you can use one of your hit dice. Since you only have one hit dice, you roll 1d10 plus your con modifier, and it'll put you at full. You also get back your second wind and I think your other thing.
I didn't use any of that yet.
Then you're good. If anyone's going to take a short rest out of all three of you, it's you.
Yeah, let's do all of that.
Okay. You do find Alphonse. He fixes the arrowhead onto a shaft for you, making a complete arrow for you, in the promise of not killing you, of course. You make your way to the Graymoor Bend. You girls make your way to the Graymoor Bend, get some sleep. You all meet back there. You manage to get a short hour. You all meet back there right outside the inn.
Has anyone
There's
cooked
only one place
bacon
left to
yet?
go as everyone starts gathering at the Feast of the Moon.
So are we all healed up again then?
Are you at full HP?
I don't know. Fuck, I don't know.
Are you going to use your hit die?
I don't know.
8? 8? Seriously?
You're at full HP.
No, I mean for him.
For him, it's
What
gonna
is
be a
this?
D10.
What else would I use this for?
Hit dice on short rest, you can use as many hit dice as you're allowed, and you get one hit dice for every level. So at 5, you get 5 D10s. And when you hit that, like, oh, I'm going to go do a short rest, you can use as many 5 D10s that you're allowed. But once you use them, you can't. On a short rest, you can't get those back. You can only get half of them back on a long rest.
This one?
Correct. So roll it, plus your con modifier, and that's how much HP you get. Cool, max HP.
Yeah, I should get extra.
Unfortunately, no.
I didn't even use my spell.
What's up with the sword?
In darkness, the unsheathed blade of this sword sheds moonlight, creating bright light in a 15-foot radius and dim light for an additional 15 feet.
Go to hell.
It also gives you an additional plus
Wash my
1
hands.
to your damage.
What's it made of?
Silver. Type of magical silver.
Does anybody want to use said sword?
The sword is silver.
Oh, you get a plus 1 to your attack and damage rolls.
Oh.
Who should use the sword? Does it matter?
Probably want somebody that's good with a sword.
Like you?
Who all's good
Or
with
you?
a Am I the only one that's good with a sword?
I have a long one and daggers. I don't think I'm good with a sword.
What's she got? Rummage through her underwears. See what she uses.
What?
You good with a sword?
No.
So you have to take it.
Take said sword.
We probably should give it to you, yeah.
I'll take said.
Flashlight sword.
Get fleshlight.
The flashlight?
Yeah, fleshlight sword. It's for masturbation purposes.
Only.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I'm taking this sword.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and equip that
Okay. Who's got the arrow?
to my.
Well, I
don't
gave him an arrow so he could take it.
and I brought it back, and whichever one of you is better with the bow.
I don't have a bow, so.
So then you need to take it, 'cause she's gonna have a hard time firing that out of her vagina.
And then you
Ping
have,
pong ball.
and you have the scroll.
And I have the scroll. I have a scroll?
Yeah, from the witch lady.
Oh, that's right.
Alrighty, so you all make your way
Y'all.
to the chapel of Saloon where everyone else is. Going inside, you can see that the place is getting rather busy. Start looking for anybody, really, honestly. You see a lot of the priests are talking and communicating. You don't see Father Derigor currently. You see a few of the NPCs that you have met earlier. Being inside, the doors do close behind you. And two priests seem to be arguing as the contraption just won't come undone. Seems to be made or worked with 3 metal rods, but you can only see 2.
Can we hear what they're arguing about?
It just they're having problems trying to open the door, but it seems to be stuck, and no matter what they try to do and finagle, they're blaming each other. That they're the cause of it. It's your fault that this is happening. How do you mean it's my fault? You're the one who was finagling on your end. So you approach. What can we do to help you with?
Where's the father?
His speech should be starting soon. I don't know where he went. He might be in the back of the sanctuary, but no one's allowed back there.
Was everyone able to get in?
Well, everyone seems to be here. The faces are all packed. But even if there is some outsiders out there, we're trying to get the door back open and just not working because this guy here doesn't know what he's doing. How is it my fault? And they go right back into arguing.
Where's this door go to?
Right back into arguing.
That's the door that we came into.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so everybody's locked inside for the feast.
Can we go
Possibly
back
the
to his
beast.
sanctuary?
Let's go.
You see, like, you guys are making your way to the sanctuary. People are stopping. Like, you're not allowed back there. You're just going through. No one's stopping you, but they're like saying, "Don't go back there." You go back there, and you see that in the sanctuary, you find this 40-foot by 40-foot room of white stone with a beautiful stained glass along the top of the outside wall, and a single effigy of Soon. It sports a large set of wings, but you don't see anybody else back here.
There's no other doors in there. It's just that room.
Yeah.
Do we notice anything weird?
Perception check. Oh, not with that number.
It's on that one.
Oh, that's fucked. What's my... Oh. 5?
I don't know shit.
Can I do it?
No, it's impossible for you to do it. Even though your allies did it, but it's impossible.
12.
Plus your perception?
I don't have anything on there.
Plus your wisdom modifier?
13.
13 total. Looking about it, you see that the wings seem a bit off. Like, as you're exploring the room, you see that the wings have some type of mechanism attached to them. That they're at the high point, their rise, and then they can be moved to go to a lower point.
Where's the wings?
I didn't notice this. I'm just.
What do you mean? Oh, okay. Can I touch him?
You like go up to
Pull
touch
on.
them, and you pull on them, and like both the wings act as little assistants. And you hear like some movement going on as the secret door opens up and a passage goes down below.
I'm going down there.
Alright, you go down there.
Yeah, go on down, girl.
I noticed, and and I follow her.
The fuck?
I follow.
You go down to the Undercroft, and as you get down below, you see that it's a smaller, somewhat along about the size of the chapel itself, but much shorter in birth. And you see Father Dirigor and a statue for a different god.
Oh, you cheeky bastard.
God slut.
Alright.
Is it the bad one?
No, it's religion.
The twin?
Of course.
13.
I'm gonna check too.
Add your intelligence modifier.
15.
What is that?
8.
That's a 2.
Yeah.
Kayla, I'm sorry, Rhea, you're the only one that notices this, but that shrine, that god, is actually to the shrine, the dark god Malar, lord of evil lycanthropes. As you approach,
Bestow me with your juicy knowledge.
I don't know what that is.
as you approach, you hear Father Daragor speak. Aaron, it's not too late for you. The beast within has taken you, and you've spilled the blood of your own father. But it's not too late to atone. Come with me. We will wipe the slate of the Graymoor clean, and then go elsewhere, where you can learn to control your gift. You see Erin as she is shackled to this altar, as she's hearing the words of Father Daragor. You see that he stands up and he takes notice of you. He's at the far end and sees you, all three of you, approaches you, just now descend to the bottom part of the stairs. So you found me. How long did it take? Sniffing around.
Well, you were fucking here. How long did it take?
I knew you were a liar.
Get your old creepy fingers away from that fucking tainted bitch.
I don't believe she's the one you need to worry about. And his form just starts breaking as he starts rising. You see the cow ivory teeth fall from him as his form just, you hear the breaking of the bones reassuring his growth as he gets larger in his form, looking at you. Skinny in that aspect of it. It looks at you and it snarls, and you don't see any of its teeth, just like rotted away because of its age, but its claws long, elongated. Looks back at Aaron. Join me. This is what we wanted. And the shackle snaps as you see Aaron, scared, unsure, and uncertainty, almost this feeling of regret, something falling behind her. You're not sure what it is, as she herself turns into a wolf form herself, joining into this fight. Roll initiative. Matt, what'd you get?
15.
Kayla, what'd you get?
What'd you have before that?
13.
13.
Plus your initiative.
I chose 2.
2. So
15.
15. Who has the higher dexterity modifier? Alright, Bree, what'd you get?
10 plus my initiative, whatever that is.
Your dexterity modifier?
12. Dexterity? Yeah, it's not 12.
Okay. Kayla,
Yes.
you get to act first. What would you like to do? She can figure it out. She's an experienced player.
Shut up, Shay.
This is it. First battle, last battle.
Can I get out my bow and then move forward?
Go ahead. Move where you want to.
How far does my bow go? 30 feet?
Your bow, you have a long bow. That bow can go up to like 600 feet.
Oh, okay. Well then, I'm gonna get on my bow and stay where I am.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna get the special silvery arrow
Okay.
and shoot it at that guy, the big
Okay.
guy.
Go ahead and roll an attack. What are the chances of a natty one? Ooh, this fight just went way into my favor. Oh. Oof. Oof.
I just wasted this special arrow. Wait, I can pick it up, right?
Oh man. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Lost grip. You can only take a move next round as you fumble with the arrow, throwing you off that it hits the ground and you try to grab it, you kick it over. It just causes you to fumble. So you can only move next round. You can't use an action, only move. That being said, it is your turn. Yay. This fight's getting nasty real quick.
Okay. So I already equipped the fucking sword that we got from Dude, right?
You draw out your sword, which is the Moonblade, yes.
Yay. Okay. Fuck.
Use your lightsaber to find my arrow.
Hey, he knows how to play. Both of you, shut up.
Shut your mouth.
He's a fish in fire.
Yeah, you're level ones. You're scared now. You've seen the attack damage on that mofo. You gotta be wise.
So I'll move there. And then... Acid breath?
Okay,
I can hit both of them, right?
you can, yes. Are we doing acid breath?
Yeah, we're doing acid
Okay.
breath.
And it's a DC. I should have wrote it down there.
Oh, do I need to...
No,
Pull it
it'll
up
be
so
on
you can
there.
look at it?
I put it in there. It says DC. It's a small 13,
12.
12. Gotcha. So it's a dex. Okay, go ahead and roll damage.
Somebody give me a 6. I can't use my great weapon thing on these twos, can I?
That because you don't have that. I don't think you have that as a fight. Is that that's a fighting
Yeah,
style?
yeah.
No, you because it's your breath weapon. It's different.
Okay. So then 8.
8. Okay, so 8 damage. You rear your breath and you shoot out this ichor of acid right at him. He takes the brunt of it as Aaron sees it and starts splashing on her as she like the wolf form of her just kind of bolts away, dodging it. You see the statue take some of that ichor as it just lays on there, barely eating it away. Okay.
And then how much did I move? 2. Okay. Yeah, I'm done.
What is your AC?
16?
16. Okay.
Your fucking loaded dice.
They're not loaded. She's got like 3 nat 20s in this session.
I'm okay with her having loaded dice. It's you I'm suspicious
You
of.
said 16?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 attack gets you. Alright, you suffer 8 slashing damage as
Nice.
Father Daragor comes up and takes back. You see one of his claws is this deep laceration right across your chest. You can feel it, and like when it comes across, you look at your body. You can see that it is the exact same size as the victims that you've come across. Their bodies.
8?
And you see Aaron come up and like seeing the acid on her. You see like this kind of wild frenzy and attack, like trying to resist, but just goes for a bite at your leg and barely comes out of the way. Next up is your turn.
Oh god, I don't know what to do.
Oh jeez, Rick.
Oh no. What is your HP?
I have 4 now.
Oh lord. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go right here. And I'm going to use my cure wounds. And I'm gonna touch you.
Alright, go ahead.
1d8 plus your spellcasting. What was that? You said my wisdom?
It's 1d8 plus 2. 6 HP back.
Oh, yeah.
What are my options for a bonus action?
I honestly could not tell you. I'm not too savvy with the spellcasters. I know certain spells or cantrips can be bonus actions, but I think you're at a certain level. Tegan's more into it, but he is not here. Because I think certain ones take an action. They'll say cast and time. Bonus action.
Would that be in my features?
Be in your cantrips.
I don't know where that is.
Your cantrip spells.
Or my bonus actions?
Yes. It'll say bonus action. Cast and time bonus action.
I don't have any cantrips that are bonus.
Alright. And that's where you're staying? Alright, Kayla, it is your turn. You'll have a movement. As you're fumbling trying to get this arrow, as you manage to grab it.
And there is a 15-foot light radius around me because of my sword. So you should be able to see.
I have dark vision too.
Yeah,
I can see.
Yeah, you can see appearances.
Whatever. Don't take my help. I don't care.
Thank you. Well, I guess I'm just gonna move. That's all I can do.
Where would you like to move?
I don't know. Up here.
Okay. Right there. Alrighty. Next up, Matt. Or Dasragol.
Guess I'm gonna hit him with this shiny little sword I got.
Alrighty.
$14, 16.
That is a hit.
What is this?
Are you wielding it with one hand or two?
I'm gonna go with 2 hands.
Okay. So you're going to get that, plus your strength modifier, plus 1.
Great. 6.
6 damage. Okay.
But this thing's made out of silver, so it does extra damage.
I'm going to check just to make sure. No.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck good is silver if I'm fighting a werewolf and it doesn't do a damn thing to him?
It does, because say you pull out your warhammer and attack him. Like, if you started this battle with just a warhammer, dude, I would have just said you've already died, because you can't do any damage to it. Say you get a nat 20, alright? He suffers 20 damage, he's immune to it. Silver gets away past that immunity.
So then, second wind, I can attack again, right?
That's action surge.
Oh, I don't have that, do I? I do not.
You get that at second level.
What a fucking bag of dicks.
That second wind, you can be like, oh, I'm going to use my bonus action to heal.
Well, I still have a bonus action.
Then you're good. But you're pretty much healed up.
Yeah.
2 HP away.
Like, I guess I'm done.
Alright. You see Father Daragor move closer to you, but he still attacks at you. You see his attack swipe come low underneath you. You avoid the attack, missing entirely. Yeah, the other one does not attack. It is your go.
How much HP does he? Did we nick him at all yet?
He's been hit twice.
Okay. I'm gonna use... I guess I'm gonna use this moonbeam?
Okay.
What does that do?
At the start of my turn, or the enemy's turn, I have to make a con saving throw. I get disadvantage on it because I'm a shape changer, and then if I fail, it will revert me back to human.
Can you take more damage as a wolf than a human?
With human form, you can actually hit somebody without using silver weapons.
No, I just meant like, does the wolf version have more HP?
No, they'll have a relatively same amount of HP. The ACs and I think speed will change, but I mean you have the notes.
The wolf version has more AC than the human. So it's
It only
easier.
has one more.
It's slightly easier to hit the human guy. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Next up will be, unless you're moving.
Nope.
Nope.
No, I'll go back one.
Okay. Kayla, it is your go.
I'm not about to jump into that
Hey,
fray.
you can do more than move now.
He's like right in front of me, right?
It's true. If you move away from him, I get an attack of opportunity off you. What
Can
you
I
gonna
find
do?
that arrow?
You have it. You have it in your possession.
I found it,
Yes, you were fumbling with it. It said lost grip, but you're not.
but it's
Point
too
blank.
close.
Yes, which will give you disadvantage.
Oh, I give you my initiative or inspiration.
She gives you inspiration. I'll just make it a normal attack.
Okay.
Is that what you want to do?
Yep.
Okay. So now you're rolling a nat. Just go ahead. Roll 20 plus your attack. Nat 20. Okay.
Thank you. It wasn't a 1.
Nat 20.
Yes.
Okay. So here's how much dice you're going to roll, and
400.
I don't have this set up.
I have dice.
you don't have enough.
How many do you have to roll?
Right.
You don't have enough.
The whole point of the game.
How many is this?
A lot.
12 d10s. Plus your dexterity
Wait,
mod.
is this 12?
That's 12.
Damn. See what would have happened if you wouldn't have dropped it the first time?
Go ahead and roll. Keep it together, just like. Okay, now you're gonna probably see a lot of these double zeros, like double digits, like, oh, that's a 50, that's a 5. If you see 2 zeros, that's a
10?
10. And then if you see an actual 10, that's a 1.
Okay. 7. Are you keeping track?
Are
What
you
do I need
keeping
to do?
track?
No, I'm not.
No, you have to. This is
Okay.
D&D. You math. I don't.
Oh, God.
You're making me do this. You can at least ask.
No. You roll the nat 20. You own the dice roll.
7, 5, 10, 3, 5, 8, 5,
Oh, there's another 10.
8, 2, 5.
She does a lot of
Plus
damage.
your what?
Plus your dexterity modifier.
2.
Plus, it's a humanoid-like creature, so you get an additional plus 2.
2.
Okay, that's it.
77.
How would you like to finish him off?
Shoot his nutsack off.
I literally only have 58 HP total.
What? I just want to shoot it right in his face.
You feel that wariness as you get a hold of the arrow and you reel it back, and when you pull it at full string, you can see the magic enact on it. This shine like a moonbeam, just and it shines in its glory. You can see from the rafters, from the ceiling, as a moonlight starts to shine down on him that he's getting ready to be pelted with. You bring it back as he's getting ready to claw at you, and you don't feel confident at first, and then just a deep breath as you reel it back.
I want to smile at him too, because I knew he was a fucking liar.
You should yell liar as you shoot it.
You smile at him as you pull it at full strain, and you let go, and you can feel almost the impact of air just as your hair flares backwards, almost like hitting the sound barrier for a moment as the arrow is seen and then immediately disappears. And there's this like moment of quiet, just, and you felt the impact of the wind, almost like someone pushed you away looking at it. Seems to be like a standstill, a moment of uncertainty. What just happened? In the background, you see the statue begin to crumble from the impact of an arrow, about the divot size of maybe a foot, maybe 2 feet in radius. And looking at Father Daragor, you see him stumbling back, and then he stumbles more as you look at his chest, and it's a small incision, and you can clearly see a perfect hole through his body, and you can see these fires start just ripping him apart from the inside, almost like the moon itself just engulfing him in this flame as he roars and tries to linger on, stay into life. It just gets consumed by this arrow of yours, just as you hear this faint howl in the distance. Nothing but ash remains from the impact.
Question. Is this kind of like movies and whatnot, where you kill the main one, the other one's not, turns away from being a werewolf or whatever.
I don't know. Technically, we're still playing. So, what would you like to do? Father Daragor's dead.
We need to go to the other one. I don't know what to do with her. What do we do with her? Go to the other side?
What do you want to do? You have a movement.
I'm gonna go over here.
Go ahead.
How much can I move?
30 feet.
Okay. I'm gonna go over here.
Okay.
Okay.
Matt, it is your go. Unless you doing anything else.
No. I don't know what I want to do, so you go.
Should we kill it?
No, I don't want to.
Not my go.
This is free action. You can say whatever you want, and no one else can reply. These are just free actions.
What is the wolf doing?
It looks like it's in defensive, like snarling and looking at everybody, but more focused on Sazergold. What'd you get, bud?
7?
Oh, that's a miss. You attack her. You lunge out and try to attack her. She dodges out of the way. It is now her turn. Sazergold, you suffer
Yay.
9 points of piercing damage. I need you to make a strength savings throw. I damn near rolled max on
The
that.
20?
Yep, strength save. So that plus your strength.
Nine?
Yeah, it looks like a 9.
Oh wait, that's
No,
a 9?
That's a 9. No, that's a 6.
Okay, so then 9?
So 9, you fall prone from the attack. As you swing at her, she dives right toward your feet and grabs and just pulls, sending you prone. Alright, what do you do? Moonbeam is exactly... It's already touched down at that spot, so you have full control over it.
Will it count as an action? Did you die?
Nope.
One
He's-
left.
He's not prone. But
I'm sleeping.
I've already used all my spell
it's
slots.
it'll say
Wait,
in the
the
description.
scroll doesn't count as a spell slot, right?
It's not, but it takes an action. Right now, you're concentrating on the spell. It is in effect. There is a beam of light on top of the now charred remains of Father Daragor. It is now there.
I can move it,
You can move it.
and it doesn't count as an action, or it does?
It'll say in the description. Should take a bonus action.
What in the fuck does it do?
Enter the spell area for the first time on a turn, or starts its turn there. It is engulfed in ghostly flames that cause searing pain, and it must make a Constitution saving throw. If it fails,
On each of your turns after you cast a spell, you can use an action to move the beam 60 feet in any direction.
that one.
So it takes an action to move it.
Okay.
Is that what you want?
But it changes, like, it'll change your back, right? A shape changer makes its saving throw with disadvantage.
It also suffers.
If it fails, it also instantly reverts to its original form. Yeah, I'm gonna take my action and move it onto her.
Okay. So it doesn't take effect until it's her turn.
But it's bright, right?
It is bright. It's a ghostly flame. So, Kayla, unless you want to move.
No, I'm good, right where I'm at.
All right, Kayla, what are you doing?
Help me.
Okay, no, I lied. I will move to right in front of him.
Are we trying to kill her or save her?
She's trying to kill me.
I'm trying to convert her back to see if maybe that changes things.
Same page. So I don't want to stab her.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stay where I am.
All right, Matt, what are you doing?
Well, apparently I'm gonna die. Am I still laying down?
You're prone, yes.
Does it cost action to stand up?
Takes half your movement speed. And then you could use a bonus action.
Well, I guess I'll fucking stand up.
Okay.
And I don't care if they're not hitting it, and I'm gonna fucking hit it, because it's trying to kill me.
Okay.
So... 12?
Miss.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, Father Daragor had 11 AC. This one was a little bit higher. She's quicker. She's youthful. It's like you have a bonus action left.
And movement.
If only there was a way
Except for...
to heal. And if only a warrior of your magnitude has something like second wind.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. And what? I get my D10 back?
D10 plus 1. That's it. So that plus your fighter level. 2 HP.
Sweet!
Gets
Whole
3
fucking
HP.
3 health.
And it falls on her turn. Now she must make a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage, which that seems to be a fail. And now she takes 2d10 radiant damage. And reverts back to normal. So go ahead and roll 2d10s.
Oh, she's back to normal?
Go ahead and roll 2d10s.
8, 16.
You see the moon being centers on her, and just ghostly flames engulf her as her whole body, she screams in pain and horror as her body succumbs to it, reverts her back to normal, killing her.
I didn't mean to kill her.
It says 2d10 radiant damage.
I just want her to be normal.
You guys have passed and failed this session.
Oh, were we
She was supposed to
save
live,
her?
wasn't she?
There was 4 ways that you could have done this. Kill Father Daragor, which you did. Convince her that it was not her fault that these killings happened. Turn her against Father Daragor, or kill her. Kayla had the right idea. Problem is, you started something you shouldn't have. You started with that acid breath.